As we say hello from Kansas Speedway to home here of HVTV, here for another night of HV After Dark. Well, my name is Otto. Up here in the, he's ready to go. Matthew Prochaski up here in HV After Dark here. First race here from Kansas Speedway here in the Craftsman Truck Series trucks, and race 2 will be next year's at Martinsville. Race 3 potentially, if we can get the light count up and get at least a good race for these first two. We'll be back doing probably a super speedway or something just as at home right now. Qualifying underway here. Qualifying will be done. Daniel Marcelli, Douglas New Biggie, Carter Casey, Eiley, Matthew Ponte, and Kent Laura, your top 6 in qualifying, but getting ready to go. In here, laps left. 6 seconds left in qualifying. We'll come here. Looks like Bradley Schmidt. Cool to see him out on the track. I think this is his first HTV After Dark here with us here on the network. So I'm welcoming Bradley. Obviously, we know very tied closely with the Shamela family. Obviously, out here right now, currently P19 and qualifying.
Yeah, Christian, good to be here at Kansas for HVTV at night. Obviously, my first time here for the HVTV night race segment of this network. So cool to be here. And obviously, as we know so well from the real life series that come to Kansas here, we just have some amazing battles on track, whether it be Cup with Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin on the last lap several years ago, getting into it on the back straightaway, or the Xfinity series where we always see chaos. We saw most recently Carson Kvapil flipping down the back straightaway after the first opening laps of that event. And so we're coming here with the trucks. And so I think definitely we'll be seeing obviously a little bit of a different product here being on the simulator, but nonetheless, a really exciting venue to be here at Kansas. A home race for the HVTV network and yourself, as you mentioned, Christian. But let's take a look at our starting lineup here.
Drivers coming right here for race 1. Daniel Mostelli, Douglas New. Row 1. Those two heavy autos will down the row 2 as we get Carter Casey, Joseph Eiley. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Nate, Joseph. I'll have to figure that out, but row 3 will consist of Matthew Ponte, Kenneth Laura, Logan Gill, Sean Rowe, running out the top 10 right now. Kyle Aldington, Michael Good, running out the top 10.
Taking a look at our 11 through 20 starting positions here, we got Mason Leidke, definitely botching that one. Cameron Face, row 6, and then we got followed by our row 7 starting drivers of Chase Ingram and Bradley McLaughlin. And our row 8 drivers, Larry Eddy and Cole Trudeau in that 47 car. Row 9 is going to be Lane Sanders in the 11, followed by Diego Aacuna. Obviously familiar with him up in the booth here at HVTV. And our row 10, Bradley Schmela, followed by Brennan Arroginio.
Coming back here, 21st on back out, Michael Taylor, Kyle Candlemare, Luke Gallagher, Aaron Hall, back there, Cody Vaughn, Whit Willis, Aaron Leffel, Patrick Connell, and rounding out this top 30, Steve Dibio and Jacob Merrill.
Right now, taking a look at row 16, we've got Jaden Malugan and Jeff Tyndall in the 31 car. Row 17, we're going to have Aldam Contreras in the 92 M&M's machine, followed by Jeff Perchatsky in the 48 machine. Marty Shimela in that 6 car, you know he means business. Then Carter Kingsley right next to him on row 18. David M. Johnson and Clay Sarton in the row 19 starting positions. And in our last row, row 20, we have Facundo Ledesma in the 30 machine, starting here at Kansas to round out our field here at Kansas.
Obviously rounding out 40 drivers strong here for Kansas. Hey, really interesting how drivers take to this racetrack here early. Take a look at our race weather for tonight's race. 81 degrees, little no wind, clear skies, clear forecast here from central Kansas, well not central Kansas, eastern Kansas here, Kansas City, Kansas. Great facility here at the racetrack. You got the casino, you got the soccer stadium here. Really cool venue out here. You got Legends over there where you can do some shopping while you're at the racetrack, but no shopping right now. We're ready to go. 45 laps. The pace car takes the hard left turn down Fair Road. Daniel Mosteller, Douglas Newt, Biggin, Carter Casey, Joseph Mealy. Back to green, 45 laps here for race 1. Oh, wrecking big in the back. I think we might keep
man.
the green.
Looks like we will stay green here at Kansas. You see them starting to fan out. Coming out of turn 4 here to come to the start of the first lap up to speed. Race leader is going to be the 7 machine of Douglas Newbigging, followed by Daniel Mosteller in that Ram machine on the bottom of the racetrack.
See that 30 Mountain Dew machine bottom, the top machine, and Douglas Newbigging on the top. Cloud smoke, and we saw the rest really on that one. Joseph Miley back there in the 3rd place position. That 39 Zin machine making that middle lane work. You see 3. Carter Casey, and that 3 Dale Earnhardt machine trying to make up that P4 position.
Yeah, and you see right now, they're just all side by side further on back. 3 wide there going into that tri-oval area, all the way down on the apron as well. That apron going to be a really hot commodity for drivers here. See that machine, black and green machine in the middle of the racetrack there, getting a little squirrely mid-corner.
Caution. Happened. Looks like maybe Jeff Rikatsky not doing incident here in the back. We can take a look and see what happened. That caution thrown. They go called further in the back here. Rikatsky in the back. We might have a little bit of blink. 40 cars. Not easy to everything looking in green here. It looks like caution's already out, but Rikatsky. Does this look green?
It looks like he's all right. Yeah, he's
like
fine. Oh, yeah.
Front, maybe. Like this was
yeah,
he's Jeff here. Oh, Jeff.
Oh, man. Oh, all right, well, that'll do it right there.
Up the track there. Maybe find Kuna.
Oh,
Kuna off the bumper of Bradley Shamila as well. Like Diego might have had a better view of what might have happened here. So we do apologize for the blinking style. Obviously, again, 40 cars. Oh, so that's wrecking up towards the front here. It looks like that is Bradley Shamila.
Oh.
Back up here with Shamila up here. They're like 3, 4 wide. Up here towards the front. That's the 00. That's the 98, 61. That's 4. Turn 3 and 4. Bradley Shamila up into the 2. The 2 hooks the 00. 00 up into the 61. Kind of a accordion effect. 61.
Man.
Truck broken. Gets down to the
Shamila.
No. Nowhere for a lot of these guys to go here. Shamila put up on that machine. Wow. I mean, a lot of these guys in the back nowhere to go. And that's why qualifying is important. In my opinion, don't get in those situations. You have to go through the wrecks if you're up here. No, top 5, top 10, top 15, right? You don't have to worry about going to X if you're ahead of it.
Yeah, totally, Christian. I agree. And what we saw there was, like you mentioned, 4 wide, almost 5 wide, looked to be on the exit of that tri-oval area entrance of turn 1. And you just saw them all come together, just looking for more real estate. I mean, you don't want to be entering when you're on the bottom of that flat part of the racetrack. So definitely not what a lot of these guys wanted to be caught up in that incident right there, but nonetheless, like you said, being up front, you get away from that kind of stuff further back in the pack. And for someone like a Jeff Perchatsky, right, who, you know, was completely uninvolved in that incident, you know, just got caught up in it from the aftermath. And so unfortunately, gonna have some damage to that truck for sure. But as we ride under the pace car right now, Douglas Newbigging still in the race lead.
Big Doug and Demos kind of at the front here. Qualified 1-2, still stay 1. Get back, you see Miley, as in Carter Casey, Matthew Ponte, that Hendrick Cars machine up here towards the front. And a lot of new faces outside of the front too, up here towards the front here early at Kansas.
Yeah, and another thing I love is just the driver identity that comes with these paint schemes that we see on these trucks here at Kansas. You just see the amazing different colors, manufacturers, numbers, everything. It all comes together here in iRacing, but particularly in the HVTV After Dark series, because these guys are just racing for fun, right? These guys are here. They're representing who they are as a driver, and I just love to see that identity come forth. You know, you're talking about a guy like Demos who's always bringing new paint schemes to the track, new sponsors, and it's really fun to be able to see what these guys bring to the table for us here in the booth, because we get to see it, and a lot of cool paint schemes here. We'll have to take a closer look at some of them throughout the race, but nonetheless, very cool feature of any league and or broadcast that we have here on HVTV.
Definitely see everybody show up and show out with the paints. Obviously, a lot of nice looking trucks out here tonight here in Kansas. Excited to see what we see going into Martinsville and potentially race 3 if we get the light count up. But here we go. Pace car back off. Down and away, Douglas Newbigging, Daniel Mostelli back to the green flag.
Up through the gears into turn 1 here. See Newbigging get away pretty well. Still 2-3 wide further on back. A lot of these guys still waiting to see how their car is handling around a lot of these other drivers here. We only got several green flag laps underway before we had that incident, so many of these guys are still going to be trying to find out, you know, where does this truck handle better. You see all the way ripping on the wall. The 80 car looks like that maroon machine, top of the racetrack. A little sideways, off corner exit into the tri-oval. But yeah, I think a lot of these guys are going to be trying to figure out, you know, how do I settle in here? How do I find my rhythm? Because this is going to be the first, hopefully longer green flag run.
That's the hammered face going up there. People up a little bit. Don't want to make them, right? Making a little bit of contact with the 77, Kenneth Laura back there. Trying to make his way through the field. You see him now go top, now down the middle. He's trying to get behind the 77 down on the bottom side. And you're just experimenting with the line, trying to figure out where the truck runs best, trying to get a feel for the truck here. Go to lap 9.
Yeah, and I definitely think that for the time being, you know, though we are in a 45 lap event here, we've already got 10 laps ticked off of the lap count. So many of these guys are definitely going to want to be able to take advantage of track position before these tires start to degrade. But I think right now, a lot of these guys who qualified, as you can see, are remaining up front, starting to form a little bit of a choo-choo train, single file. You got a little bit of side-by-side action with that 80 car and the safe light machine on the top, you see. But right now, yeah, just kind of settling in, as we mentioned, and just finding the rhythm.
Has yet to win a race here on the broadcast. The one race he did win was the one that I couldn't be a part of, right? He wanted to run a race on Thursday. He hosted. He wanted to run some lobbies on Thursday. We have an obligation on Thursday. Web Series, I ran the much as I could of the first race. My first ever start here in After Dark. But he won one of the races where it wasn't on the network, right? Obviously, Martinsville was kind of enough to broadcast his point of view of the broadcast over on But almost won that one. Has still yet to win a race here on the network. 77, Kenny Laura up in the outside wall. You know Demos is going to get a win here on one of these official broadcasts.
Yeah, we know a guy like Demos is more than equipped to be able to pull that off, considering his track record and his resume, so to speak, in the simulator. Daniel Mostelli, one of those guys that is just unequivocally fast in any race car you put him in, any league or series that he's a part of. And so Daniel Mostelli definitely one of those guys to watch out for.
Definitely going to be interesting to see what Demos can do. You know, he calls himself Watch because he doesn't, normally race as much as he does his, the official races for his YouTube channel. Guys are involved with me, like subscribe to Demos over there. We've been collaborating with him during After Dark because, he's a big part of the reason these come on. Guys haven't followed Demos over on the YouTube side. He posts a lot of good content of his, like POV of these races, POVs of, officials he does, POVs of, special events that he races in, right? He's done, obviously, the e-tickets in our side. He's done some official, broadcasted iRacing races. Like he won I cannot think of the name, but it was an ARCA race at Charlotte. MPI Challenge. He won the MPI Challenge race. It was broadcasted on iRacing. So he does a lot of the POV content of that side of things. And obviously, honestly, really fun to learn from him. By him posting those videos to see what he does inside the car. And we can all be better because Demos, purposely, like you said, might be quick at anything.
Yeah, and to be familiar with Demos like we are, Christian. Getting to be around him and kind of know him as a person. He's just so likable and enjoyable to be around when he's outside of the race car. And so to have somebody who's able to go out there and win so often in some of the series that he participates in, it's good to have the success be with somebody who's just so likable and such a kind character in the community. So Daniel Mosteller, one of those guys that we appreciate here at the HVTV Broadcasting Network, but obviously all these guys that come out here and a lot of familiar faces from other series and networks that you viewers may be familiar with, but really cool to be able to see all of them come together here in HVTV.
Everybody come together, all these different communities come together. Obviously, we got a lot of these guys that guys from the consoles come over. Get the likes of like Carter King and from like the console games, right? Transition over into the 2003 and back into the E5 and everything else. And man, it's a dogfight back here, by the way. But
yeah, it's 77 dropping tires off there,
yeah,
man.
You can see everybody from the different walks of life come in here and race here in these hosting sections, right? I mean, this is all we want is people to show up, put on some good racing, and have fun. Race here already early in early birth of this series, if you want to call it that, and obviously not looking probably wants to right now, up and right outside the top 10, but all he needs is a caution and he'll back up in the fire.
Yeah, and speaking of a caution, it happened so quickly earlier in the race right now, but it can happen quickly once again. So a lot of these guys are just digging, just trying to give themselves a chance, because you never know with these kinds of events. See a little bit of contact with the outside wall there, that Ram 81 machine, white and red Dodge truck on the top line. But yeah, for a guy like Carter, I mean, he's also competitive in a lot of different machinery that he steps into behind the wheel of the sim. But yeah, as you can see, a little bit of organized chaos going on here. Still a little bit of shuffling back and forth, but for the most part, these guys have found where they're at, found where they're comfortable, and you can see obviously that 81 machine trying out different lines there, but pretty much sorted themselves out for the most part.
And we go green here, we are going to start the tire wear start to come into play. Look at someone like Cameron Race, who was put in that wall before, starting to get ran down by Aaron Leffel in that Silverado there. Pressure on some rating machine, a little car back there, and then another 3 cars back up ahead of them.
Yeah, certainly, and tire wear for what is essentially a sprint race by oval terms here. One of those things that you're definitely going to have consideration of if you're behind the wheel of the sim. And I think right now, like you mentioned, Christian, you're going to be tuning up those tires when you run that high line, and that's kind of what you need to be doing to try and make up some track position for the sprint race, so to speak. And I think right now we're going to start to see that fall off a little more evident as we continue along the way here with 25 to go. But the other question is, who can manage their tires a little bit better? A guy like Mosteller, who's been riding in second place, able to kind of size up his competition in the front of the field right there of Douglas New Bigging, seeing where he's running, where he's not running, and where he might be able to put his truck to have a little bit more of an advantage on the tire wear perspective. Another thing that I'm sure we'll be talking about is lap traffic. As you can see, that machine right in front of Douglas New Bigging going into turn 1 ahead and onward. We're going to be having to navigate around them, and I believe that that will be a factor.
Obviously, have to look at the 2 corners up here who've been up front all the race. New Bigging, Marcelo, but Carter Casey up here in P3. He's been just quietly keeping his nose clean, following behind these 2 race leaders. He might be a sneaky pick. These guys might be trying to outpace him, so there's some experience he's kind of sitting behind, trying to take care of his equipment. You hear 24 coming to go. It's a long time for Rita, sit back and try to figure out what he wants to do here with this 87 and the 7 right in front of him.
Yeah, certainly, and you saw on corner exit there coming out of turn 4, the 87 of Daniel Mosteller definitely hurt on that momentum that he was able to carry, not able to track it all the way out to the wall and carry more speed. But Carter Casey, yeah, one of those guys that has just kind of been biding his time in third place here. knowing that he has a truck to maintain pace with these guys, and really being able to just be in the right position and hopefully give himself a chance here at the end.
And he's have gotten away here from Hogan Gill. Tricon. He's actually driven his way up to the field. He's moved his way up to the top side. We talked about the top side has a lot of momentum. Obviously, get up there, make some passes here, and in a pretty quick manner, got around. Around the 80. Now he puts himself up in the P4, but he is almost 2 seconds back here from the top 3.
Yeah, and another guy that we already talked about earlier, Carter Kingsley, up to the 7th position, up about 22 spots on the field. So making moves really quick. That's Carter in that Michigan State machine on the bottom of the racetrack there going into turn 1.
And Ballard out with the 10, that Hendrick car is getting to the rider right there. Obviously, Aspire truck that there in the traffic truck series. Now Carter gonna get in at the bottom there. Kyle Altington in that ghost machine. Little side job on these. He's gonna take over that position.
Yeah, and another guy who's up 20 or so positions, Aaron Laudel in the 6th place running spot. He is on a move right now. You see him in that 2 machine.
The driver who's trying to race there for the spot there. Go back a little bit, back now. That car, Chris. Obviously, Chris got caught up in that right there. Try to limp it around here, but a battle for this P4 position. The one got around to 80. The 80 is coming back with a rebound here to try to take this spot back.
Yeah, that's going to be really fun because we know that the side force of these trucks side drafting is just so powerful, and the aero at this track is just so entertaining for us as commentators. But if they stay side by side, that'll just drag the number 2 machine right behind them up to them. So definitely going to be a little bit of a land rush here to try and find out where you can do a little bit of aero blocking. But though I'm not as familiar with this truck in the sim, Christian, is aero blocking as significant in the game as we see in real life?
I wouldn't say it is. I feel like it's more about breaking the track. Trucks are very drafty. And I feel like that's a big reason why you'll see someone maybe use the offside, get the momentum off to kind of negate, that advantage the truck behind has to draft, right? But obviously the stuff up, right? Kind of that equilibrium. Right now, like we talked about, them running side by side right now. We have 18 to go. There's not that many laps left. Like, I don't think we're in that point of the race where you can't just let someone go now, right? Like, okay, you're fast to go try to run them down, right? You kind of just have to fight with whatever you have and hope that the leaders be different to let you guys catch back up.
Yeah, certainly. And there's no guarantee that if you let somebody by that you're going to be able to come back to them. As we have a caution on the speedway here, that's going to change everything. Wow.
Might have happened here. So, potentially had it in last 30 seconds. If maybe he can show us what happened.
It looks like the 2 machine is no longer up towards the front. Yeah, he is way back in 25th. Definitely an issue for him. Oh, man. See a little bit of 3 wide there with the 90 and the 2 machine on the bottom of the race. Or not the 2 machine, I'm sorry. The 1 machine up front, but 2 getting clear. As we fast forward here.
Oh, he comes down.
Into the wall.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what the caution was.
Yeah, he had some contact coming out of 4 there and slid down across the grass into the pit lane.
Maybe he might have had here potentially happen. Drivers here. Yeah, I'm very unsure why the caution got thrown. Obviously, I wish we had a little more insight maybe by a text chat or maybe chat of what happened, but now I don't really see anything when they did a caution. Contact between 7, but regardless, caution's get away, so yeah, I know I still find where the caution.
Oh, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Regardless, we got pit stops coming underway here. This would be a good pretty pivotal moment here. Gonna be in contention. Nah, you gotta make sure not to overshoot the box. Make sure to make sure you're on the right strategy. 15 to go here. I expect everybody to take over. It looks like everybody will. So we'll see. Out here quickest. And now it's gonna be Big Ian, Stellar. It looks like the one of Logan Hill gonna be that.
Wow.
Out of pits.
Very nice. Yeah, great pit stop out of that Celsius Toyota Tricon garage machine. You see the rest of them come off a pit lane. Daniel Mosteller seemed like he got into his box really hot and was able to maintain that second place position, but Douglas New Bigging nonetheless was able to edge him out just a little bit coming off pit lane there. But yeah, I mean, with 15 to go here, Christian, I think this is really just going to be, elbows out. Just dogfighting for just about every position you can get here, especially for a lot of these guys. Speaking of the third place car of Logan Gill, who has really been, a hard charger right now. So we know he has the speed. Will the short run speed be more evident with some of these top guys or someone further back, maybe fifth on back? We'll have to see.
Definitely have to see, where everybody shakes out here. Top here at the top here. Stellar, Hill, who else? Bigging. And you front two since the drop of the green flag here. No one's been able to shake up these up front. You see the 38 of Kratsky coming out of pure guard, probably getting some more damage fixed out of that machine. And all these drivers have a fast repair. I wonder if Jeff used that one. I think he did have to use the fast repair pretty early. They were probably caught up in that first wreck there. Ended up having Jeff technically on the lead lap and 7. Big hill to climb for that number 38 machine.
Yeah, certainly. And I'm not so sure, Christian, that these guys are done wrecking, because we saw at the start of this event, they were pretty much just dogfighting it. I mean, we had a spin into turn 1, no caution from that, but later on we had another incident. So that's essentially 2 incidents in a short green flag span that we had, worthy of bringing out a caution. And so I'm thinking that right now with the stakes a little higher, we're definitely going to see a little more aggression.
See what happens here. 14 going to 13 to go. And the race back over to Douglas Stu Bing back into the restart zone. Back in here from Kansas. 13 to go with these Craftsman Truck Series.
Yeah, you saw a good launch on the bottom from New Bigging once again. How about Gill with that one machine, the Celsius truck, on the bottom of the racetrack? He's going to clear Demos. It looks like he'll opt to stay on the bottom of the racetrack and get a push from the 3-car. Slide out of the 10 Hendrick machine and some contact with the 11 car. Looks like a lot of damage to that right side SpongeBob on the hood of that truck. We stay green.
Outside wall there. Now, this is exactly what Doug wants to see. Down it outside by side. Almost 3 wide for the second place spot. That's going to allow Doug can try to scoot away here with 12 to go. And pull out here. There's no more tire saving with 15 to go. Someone pushing with all you got here. A little bit held up with Gill. Side by side for P4 back there. That's the 90. That's the 88 of Licky on the bottom, trying to get around that number 3 machine of Carter Casey.
Oh man, yeah, and you just know Demos is absolutely livid with the side drafting of the 1 car. Obviously the 1 is entitled to doing that, but Demos was not able to get clear of the 1 car on the previous lap going into turn 3. Led to him getting side by side into the tri-oval and slowed him down even further. Obviously he clears now, but Demos definitely not going to be happy with being held up just a little bit there.
That's given New Bigging enough of a gap to where I feel like you can feel at least somewhat comfortable. Monsteller is not one guy who probably wants to near when it comes to anybody. But right now, he's been able to close the gap right now. Now 3.5, 4 tenths back. This is how it is right now. Basically, really bottom of the truck for the rest of the race here. He's going to have to try to do something else to get back up there. That gap is not really closing. About 3.5 to 4 tenths back. Not being able to close in.
Yeah, certainly, Christian. And you see the 3 machine of Gill fading just a little bit more off the rear bumper of Demos, not able to stay up there and put himself in a position to maybe take over that second place spot. Demos definitely going to have to try his best less than 9 laps to go here. We have side by side for 4th place, or 5th place rather, with the 21 and the 88 going down into the corner here. Looks like the 21 will likely clear on exit. He will. And they continue to run single file for the most part for the lead here.
Up 5 spots more started. Coming hot and at the right time. I don't know if we've got enough time to get up to Dog and Demos, but top 5 everyone out of my good, obviously. Martinsville just really got Rich and Gavin Austin. Kind of junked the two last time we were racing for National. A good rebound here for a top 5 finish. Eventually, Stellar just a little bit over that new biggie.
Yeah, and just before we pay more attention to our leaders here, I want to give a shout out to Aldam Contreras, up 25 spots in 7th place, man. Oh, we have a wreck in the back. Looked like almost. They're wrecking.
Wreck on the outside. The back of the pack. We'll see if they decide to throw that.
Hopefully everyone gets by here.
Yeah. Caution will not wave. Stellar. Too biggie. Oh, now caution.
Oh, the caution's out. Oh, man. Yeah, that was going to be a rough time for those cars going towards the backstretch with everyone all scattered everywhere. But, and just like that, everything flipped on its head.
A little bit deeper back here to see what happened with the 80 and the 10. Hard, there's on him on that apron. Saw the 80 get really upset here. Kingsley up into the left rear quarter.
Oh.
It's Cameron Pace all out of shape there. He pulls it off the wall, grabs the 40, and those two will go on the top side here. No one, everybody else gets around them. Caution will wave here. That'll really change things up here. With probably what? That shootout here.
Yeah, it looks to be we'll have almost, not quite, but almost a natural green-white checker finish here. But certainly going to be an all-out battle to the end. And I think this is going to give that 2nd place car of Daniel Mosteller a chance to redeem himself after that last restart. Getting held up a little bit with the 1 car. Not really being able to take the battle to Douglas Newbigging as quickly as he'd like to. But we know in these, high-pressure situations, it really comes down to the guys that have been here before, right? The guys that have been in positions to win in other leagues and in other series that they race in the sim on. But right now, the 2 leaders are guys who have done just that. And so a pretty equal competition, but I like that 3rd place machine, the 1 car of Gill, because he's just shown a lot of pace, a lot of energy. See right there, that yellow number 1 or orange 1 machine. Logan Gill, the low of 22nd, all the way back up almost 20 positions here from starting spot. Maybe Logan Gill can turn that number 1 truck into a number 1 finishing position truck. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he can do on this last restart. Hopefully last restart, that is.
An uphill battle for that one. Obviously 2 of the best here in After Dark. Gonna lead us to green. With what it looks like a 3-lap shootout here. We'll get the one to go one last time, hopefully, here at Kansas, and it'll be digging on the bottom, Most on the top. Most has an opportunity to take advantage here. 80 and Cameron Pace off the track here, spinning it out. That's about, but you'll see that thing back going. But Emos has to time this restart, where it's pretty much game over. It'll probably be in that same spot that he was that last restart. If Doug gets a good jump, likely so will that 1. Logan Gill. And then it's going to be Most and Gill battling it out for people. Will most likely allow Doug to get, once at 3, 4, 10 second gap. Most has to be on it.
Yeah, definitely, Christian. And I think that right now, the line into turn 1 is definitely going to be the main priority, right? Just making sure you're not sliding up in anybody, you're not overcooking it, getting into the entry there. But Daniel Monsteller and Douglas Newbigging have definitely been here before, and I'm curious if the top or the bottom is going to get the jump here, because both of those guys on the second row showing a lot of speed so far here today.
I mean, we'll hand it over to Barney the flag man. Got the green flag in hand. 3 to go from Kansas. Let's see who gets it.
So I'm getting a little bit out of shape on the bottom of the racetrack there. Doug Newbigging will clear on entry through turns 1 and 2. He will have a clear racetrack.
Another battle side by side once again. Marcelo's got to get clear quick if he wants to make a run at Newbigging here. That bomb lane's going to be the best.
Oh, he's fading up. Oh, no. Oh, they're wrecking.
Looks to one up the track. Nothing that he could have really done. The caution wave. Oh, it will now if they're wrecking again.
The 10 HendrickCars.com machine wrecking into turn 1. Oh!
Matthew Fonte.
Some more contact there.
Wow, what a bit. I mean, yeah, I thought maybe Demos was going to keep it green because it's been wrecked and trying to be as unbiased as possible. Monstella will go back and take a look at our replay here. Saw kind of it all unfold on our lap here, Matthew, but we'll take a look and see. It looks like just the one you kind of used up that 57 here. We're trying to go for it all.
Yeah, you saw it mid-corner there, just fading up from the bottom into the gas. Not a little too soon, but I mean, just not quite where you wanted to be on center off for that one machine. But Demo's definitely the big loser there. As we saw some more contact further back, you saw Carter Kingsley hit the wall. The 10 machine
got loose. Team there on the. Sean Rowe gets in the back of him, and then around he goes. He grabs the 84 as well. It's out. Yeah.
He got
the
again.
4 of
Yeah.
Shamela there. Bradley Shamela goes around there. Oh, yeah, and it's not common for the truck to get unsettled there, going from the apron back up to the banking there. That's exactly what happened in the 10. Unfortunately, we're just trying to save it. You can't expect anybody behind you to react to that in time. Sean Rowe gets into the back of them, and another caution here. Another attempt at a restart here. Unfortunately, will not be in the picture. It's now Douglas Newbigging, Michael Good up to the position.
Yeah, Sean Rowe was in. Now Sean Rowe is out. And as I say that, I see him actually in 6th position here, so that's my mistake. But yeah, I think right now, I look at someone like Carter Kingsley, Aldam Contreras. These guys are hungry for a win as well, and I wouldn't count them out just quite yet, especially since now that Demos doesn't have that track position. We're gonna have some new guys starting on the 1st and 2nd rows again, and with that comes new pushes on the restart, new lines into turn 1, and just overall completely different interaction between these cars. But overtime here at Kansas.
Back at the 9 of chasing. Came back and took tires 5 laps ago. Obviously, we have had a couple of cautions, so I would say these guys have ran maybe about, let's say, 9 or 10 laps. Probably got around 10 lap pressure tires. The new RGR development driver on the freshest tires up in P9. I don't know if he'll have enough laps to get up and actually battle for the lead, but if these cautions keep going, might be wrecking it up here late in this race.
Yeah, definitely. And Chase Ingram in that McDonald's truck, definitely going to be looking forward to putting those tires to good use. And the more cautions that we get, the more of a happy camper he will likely be. So for Chase Ingram, definitely sitting pretty here for this restart in the top 10. But another guy up a lot of positions, like we've been mentioning, Aldam Contreras up 29 spots in that 4th place position for this restart. Definitely a guy to look out for in that M&M's 92 machine. Very iconic for Aldam Contreras.
Aldam's always been using Tim's car, obviously. Since I can remember, he's always had the 92. Had some iteration of a Kyle Busch inspired car, whether it's in batteries, whether it's M&M's car, whether it's... I think I've ever seen him in a Skittles car yet. He can correct me if I'm wrong by maybe running it in a race or two. But I believe it's always been M&M's and NPA batteries for the number 92. And obviously he's ran, a couple of I know Aldam Contreras is a big Justin Bieber fan. I know he's made a couple of music artist inspired cars as well. The Spag album, the car of that. Obviously, I'm a huge proponent of making cars. I have a big collection of my own, to say the least. So, leave this 92 get up there, maybe race for them.
Yeah, I think so. And right now, we're gonna take the green flag for what will maybe be the final restart here at Kansas. Up through the gears, Doug Newbigging down onto the apron. Out M. Contreras, making it 3 wide. He's trying to go to the outside of that safe light machine.
Right now, it's going to be 2 by 2. Further back, Reckian in the back.
Oh! There's more contact.
At 84, Licky, everybody Reckian in the back. They keep it right now. Douglas Newbigging in the back. Carter Stacy in the 3. Trying to make the move, but here comes the 21. Michael Good making it bottom. Maybe bomb the move. That nice, get a good run off the corner. But I think we're going to get back to the wide. Douglas Newbigging, 1 to go here from Kansas.
Doug Newbigging doing an amazing job leading laps here at Kansas. Doesn't look like the competition's going to have much for him going into turn 1 here.
Out of turn 2, Douglas Newbigging at every lap. So, got to get through 2 more corners here. And we're going to get a new winner here from Kansas in that number 7 machine.
Coming off turn 4, Doug Newbigging. Everything that he's done in this race was perfect. He's going to win at Kansas in the number 7 machine.
Give it to him. That number 7 machine outright dominant. Okay, so we'll take a look at Civic left. So yeah, 48 of 50. What a stat for that number 7 machine. I mean, we saw this similar last night here. With someone dominating this way, the Cameron base there in the number 17. He went Sebring Raceway last week for the AW, last night actually. AW's Douglas Newbigging, 48 of 50 led. He gets it here from Kansas.
He's going to do a celebratory burnout in the infield section here. Front stretch grass, rather. And Doug Newbigging, just an amazing job leading the pack, commanding the pack, and really just being in a class of his own on all accounts, with the restarts, with the short run speed, long run speed, coming on to pit lane, coming off pit lane. And yeah, like we know so well with a lot of these guys, you know, you give them a chance to be in a position to capitalize, and they will not lose sight of their goal. And for Doug Newbigging, definitely did not lose sight of his goal of winning here at Kansas.
Kevin, Douglas Newbigging, you see that lap lead count again. Go ahead and talk to Doug up here in the booth. Doug, it's Christian Matthew up here in the booth. Got a copy?
Hello.
Oh, Doug in it once again, but another win here. I believe this is your second win here after dark, but dominating performance here from Kansas. Most bounded out there for the first, I would say 7/8 of the race there, but that last couple of restarts, big jump out front, allowed you to get this one. Walk us through.
Yeah, you know, started up front, which was nice, and then just kind of side drafted Demos there at the start, got the lead, and pretty much just set sail from there. Knew as long as I kept Demos behind me, I was pretty much gonna get it at that point, honestly. Just kind of do a little, your usual dirty air blocking, you know. I kind of figured it's gonna be pretty much between me and Demos, I figured. Then after that last restart, I know we had someone else with us up top there, so I was pretty good for a little bit there, you know. But yeah, just running the bottom, saving tires, and then just kind of look in my mirror everywhere Demos went, just kind of protect a little more, and then just adapt to it. So I was kind of hoping we got to the long run there, honestly, because I was honestly going to start probably ripping top at the end there, because I felt like his Demos move up to the middle, and he was kind of getting time on me, and I felt like if I just rode up top, like tippy top, I could have probably made it really work, but never, sadly didn't get there, which kind of, you know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it was fun, you know, a little biased because I won, but yeah, it was good.
Definitely looked fun up here. And congrats on the win, Matthew.
Yeah, Doug, did you feel like there was a chance for anybody to get back to you on those restarts? Because we had several cautions later on in the race, but did you, you know, kind of keep a level head, or did you feel a little bit frustrated that these guys couldn't keep their trucks underneath them as we came to that starting or ending segment of the race here?
Not really, honestly, too much. With the restarts and all that, I mean, I was just kind of playing them how I normally, because this is one of my better tracks, I would say. So I kind of know how to play the restart game, especially as a leader, like how to give draft, and especially with how drafty these trucks were tonight. Just kind of just giving draft to different cars when I knew it, so they could be side by side going in the backstretch, so I could my whole goal on the backstretch is to have no matter what, if I'm gonna get pushed, I'm gonna get pushed by the guy in the top lane, and I'm gonna make sure the guy in the top lane's ahead of the guy in the bottom. So when he does give me the push, I'll be clear to run bottom and one and three and four. So then, like, no matter what, I'll end up with the lead, which is what I did with Demos on the restart before we wrecked there. That's what I did to him, and I worked out perfect. And then same with this last restart, just worked out perfect. So honestly, the restarts were actually my little nice spot because I didn't have to really like. I kind of knew already ahead in time like what I was needed to do, and it's honestly probably one of the more easier parts were just the restarts. Honestly,
Yep.
weird to say it, but yeah, you think the opposite, but yeah, no, it was just weird.
Yeah, I was about to say that same thing, but still very calculated out of you in this. Congrats. Like I said, I believe your second win. Let's go any shout outs or anything to say for you.
Yeah. Shout out Lucky Ducks, Aftermark Coffee. If you want to get your coffee, you go there. Aftermark Coffee. Shout out them. Yeah, yeah. Nexus Esports, Demos. Racing me good there. It was fun always racing against him. Always a good guy to race against. And you guys too, putting the broadcast. I've been watching on my other monitor, pumping the viewers up as I should be. Thank you guys for hosting it, like you always do on these great nights and putting on these great sessions. My engine just blew up, but yeah, good job.
We appreciate
I'll be
you.
back up here hopefully for Martinsville.
Yeah, we'll see
So
if you can go back to back here, but we at least coming up and racing with it. Yeah. Good luck these next two races.
yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you guys around.
Well, Doug gets it done here from Kansas. And ready to out of the session here. Um, you ready to hop into Martinsville, next gen Martinsville track we ran here on the sim. So it's gonna be interesting to see, Matthew. What do you expect going into Martinsville? Gonna be a out of grace. Come to these tracks.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of Martinsville, the paperclip, right? You know, it being as small as it is with the next gen cars, which you can really be aggressive with because of that composite body, no longer with the pure sheet metal that, would just get absolutely destroyed at any contact with another car or the wall. So for these guys that know that they can beat and bang as much as you do at a short track, but particularly with the next gen car and, how rigid that they are and how much structural rigidity that they have, despite a lot of contact that they might be facing in the car. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of aggression. At the same time, though, I think we're also going to be able to see a lot of these guys just kind of find their pace and find their rhythm, especially with the guys that are going to be further up in the front of the field. I think we will see some separation, but I also think that we'll see some guys that are able to make their way through the field, especially with the chrome horn that you always talk about, Christian. So I think we're going to be seeing a little bit of a mix, but yeah, given that this is going to be our first time trying this out, it'll be really interesting to see whether or not that stands true.
The our first short track here, and optimistic, but obviously not in a good way, but also in a bad way. I mean, need to hop into the session. We'll talk to while we talk to team. Oh, let's talk to familiar face up here next. If it's Matthew Christian up copy.
Going on, guys?
Well, not the race you wanted. I'll say that. Got up in the carnage there, but obviously I don't think you have Martinsville, so here. But what was the race like for you at least outside of the caution, the back?
Man, I haven't run the truck in I don't know how many months, and Carter and I just came off the Nürburgring 24, running top five, and I was just glad I was able to do one, because I missed the last few, a lot of stuff going on, busy life right now. Yeah, just good to be back with everybody. Glad you guys are in the booth. If you guys need a third, I'm here. I can call Martinsville. You can call a race 3 if you want to do that. But yeah, if you guys are down, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it a party up here. Let's go, man.
Party through.
Yeah, threesome.
And
3 for me.
next time I think we'll have
All right.
Matthew and Jeff in the.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Aren't you glad there was a fast repair last race?
Well, I was until I had to use it turn 2 of lap 1,
Oh, there it is.
and it was gone. And it was like it didn't exist anyway. Yeah, the trucks are so much. You have to pay attention to the rear end so much more than I remember. I don't know if that's a new thing with a new update or that's just how they work. But obviously, I run a lot more road, and if it's oval, it's usually next gen or nothing now. So it's just totally different feel than what I'm used to. But it's fun. It's always fun to run with guys that are a lot better than me, so I can learn from them. Even though I didn't learn a whole lot, wrecking from 3 and 4 wide on the first lap all the way in the back. But it's fun. It's always a good time with you guys. So thanks for putting this on. Thanks for having us. And thanks for letting this dude up in the booth.
Find the. Thank you. Find the. Everybody an opportunity. I hear it. Whatever, just come in here, make friends, right? All doing it, right? So, kind of with the lack of community races, happen, So, I that we can do it, but looking into Martinsville, obviously, if you don't have the track, but you definitely have the next gen. Have done your fair share of short tracks. What's the outlook here for Martinsville?
It's tough, It's tough if you haven't driven it before. I do know that it's a very different feel with the next gen versus the other stock cars at any track, but I think that especially is exaggerated on short tracks. In some of the older cars, like the trucks from O'Reilly or the Gen 6, I feel like you need to get a lot more rotation mid-corner and kind of yaw the car out a lot more on throttle on the exit, controlled, but still yaw it out a bit. The next gen, you can't really do that as much because it's on such a knife's edge. We always talk about that. So, you have people like Kyle Busch that were dominant in the Gen 6. They just can't quite feel the rear end when it's on that knife's edge. And when it breaks loose, it's gone. You can't save it. So this is probably something where, if I had to guess, I would probably not do a great job at a track like this or any kind of flat track in the next gen. I'm much more suited to a speedway, high average speed type of track, super speedways. That's a lot more my forte. Short tracks have never been my strong suit in a high horsepower car. As we see the 99, throw the hood off that thing in the turn 3 and 4. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a challenge for these guys because you have to find speed without having that, without managing that rotation. The more natural rotation that you get from the truck or O'Reilly or whatever it is you're running. But yeah, and going back to what you were saying before about just running these races for the community, I mean, it's so awesome to see how we have guys from the IDK Player and our Night American community. We have guys from the other leagues that we broadcast that are part of the HVTV family. AWC. ISNF, we have guys that come from all over, even just people that are looking for a fun hosted on a Friday or Saturday night. So it's cool. Keep up the interesting combos. I don't know if this may be the debut of this combo or maybe the debut of Martinsville on HVTV After Dark. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully a little bit cleaner than race 1 at Kansas, but trucks at Kansas, a little bit of a super speedway, a little bit of a chaotic track, but Martinsville is in many ways the same, although it's a lot shorter. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm excited to see how the really quick guys like Sean Rowe, Contreras, Mo Seller, all these guys end up tackling this. And we'll see if they can put on a better show than the real life races here, because those can be a bit of snoozers, we know.
Just an FYI, so we do have some customized stickers. Actually, the proud owners, AWC Twister, actually our ticker we use. and that will be a win. You know, they're exclusive. Not their exclusive pick, but it's them because they, you know, they do a really good job taking care of us here on the network. Gotta give them any numbers. I am working with Adrian in the background to get a just a after dark ticker that will be a bounded driver ID for car number because obviously, you know, he's actually in practice right now. Shows up as a 7 car in the session. But yeah, 47 in AWC is actually Sam Batwell. So that's his actual number. Same thing. You look back at the 77 of Kenny Laura. That's actually Jake Scarborough's number. 7 to Doug. He'll take over Reiner Hombom's number. So far, so the key back there. Not winning official time yet, but we are working, and we do want to. I think this would be one of the kind of posted session that we're going to open up the numbers for the drivers to submit a custom number, customize a little bit more, make people want to be a little bit a part of the actual production of these races, right? Have your own custom number on there, have your own custom colors. If we give these guys, you know, an opportunity to show what they are characteristically wise on the ticker. Now, AWC numbers as we give everybody got 10 minutes. So, you know, and now we have 15 or so drivers in session. I think a couple of them have not set a lap here, but someone I do session. I mean, of a family, Riley Maxwell, up his here and after dark here. Our producer, commentator here on the network that we just signed, been working on the FIS Truck Series production with Kevin Austin on Mondays.
Yeah, you can see right now already in practice, these guys are pretty much just kind of feeling it out with racing around other people. You saw Contreras right there going at it with the, I'm not quite sure what machine that is, but right now, yeah, a lot of guys just pretty much trying to get comfortable with their cars, comfortable with the track, looking to be like a night race. So it's gonna be cool to see these paint schemes under the lights here at Martinsville. And so far, yeah, some of our familiar faces up towards the front of the field with our practice times, but
obviously, I think maybe the lap is there. But actually, fastest lap goes to Colt Joe, which kind of makes sense. You know, a short track driver in real life, obviously, he's spinning the full cylinders, but knows how to get around the short track. You know, I've talked to Cole. I've talked to Cole, kind of team color was pretty should be. You know that golden spot. You know, up a new car season. Where they'll be racing at Wisconsin. You know, got to get around the track here. Sense, you know, on top of the board over. You know, some of the notable fast guys that we like a Shonro, like a Mosteller, like a New Pigging, like a Contreras, so on and so forth. Right? So, you know, track ringer, I hear we can practice at least. Or
yeah, and I agree. I think you hit the nail on the head, Christian. I honestly think in Cole's case, and in really any up-and-coming driver's case, any seat time is good seat time. You know, you see guys that are coming up in the short track ranks and into the NASCAR ladder series. They're starting everywhere. They're starting in go-karts. They're starting in quarter midgets. They're starting in dirt. They're starting in off-road. You know, all kinds of different stuff. And any amount of seat time you can get in a variety of vehicles, I think for me personally, it keeps things interesting on the sim and otherwise. But for people that really hone that craft of car control, adaptability, you know, just the your feel and your instincts behind the wheel. I think that will serve you in any car that you run, whether it's in the sim or in real life. Um, and Christian, I want to, for a second, we can take off that announcer hat and put on that driver hat for you, since you have so many laps in the next gen and you have experience at this track. What do you think we're going to see with shifting in this race? Because we see in the Cup Series they're trying to discourage as much shifting on short tracks as there has been in the past in the next gen. Obviously, with that 5-year sequential gearbox, there are cases where it is faster to shift down into 4th or even 3rd gear, depending on the ratios. Is that something that's viable in iRacing or necessary in iRacing, and that we're going to see here with these guys at the front tonight?
I definitely think, from my memory, yeah, you are shifting. We actually have, here for all these drivers, we'll see,
There you go.
Shifting right here. So, I mean, at least Cole right now, at least going down the 3rd here, up the 4th down the straightaway. So, yeah, like right now, yeah, we will have shifting effect, and obviously, it's hard, right? With not only with how it is to get out of the corner, but also we have one more gear in every series, right? For the Arca and Menard series, for the Craftsman Truck series, the O'Reilly series, right? There's that 5th gear with the sequential gearbox that they have to kind of adjust for. Obviously, I know that they don't want 15 gears right now, but that's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles right now, right? And it's hard to have a setup based around five gearbox that can't shift around. The only way I see it, right, when we come to these short tracks, right, eventually if they don't want shifting, they have to restrict it, right? Something like that, which really doesn't make sense. Like, I know back in the day, when the next gen was around, every setup it was just up to 4. You didn't even put the 5th gear in the car, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see, how NASCAR and all the smart guys over there try to figure out how to, try to negate the shifting here. But with that extra, car, I just think it makes it difficult for them to not have a setup to where they can. So.
I think that speaks to a larger issue that's more widespread among racing now, especially when you see more and more racing adopt a more spec series format with the cars, whether that's NASCAR with the next gen, IndyCar is a spec chassis. There's more and more spec racing that's coming up around the world. You're seeing when a new technology is added, whether that's a 5-speed gearbox in the next gen, or for example the hybrid on the IndyCar side, it's very rare. It's the exception, not the rule, that it actually is used as a tool that's used differently by the different teams and the different cars, versus just everybody using it exactly the same. And if everybody uses their tools exactly the same way, which is what we're seeing in NASCAR and IndyCar with the hybrid, for example, then it really it takes away the advantage that they wanted to add, and the ability to have a unique strategy to try and gain an advantage, right? And I think a lot of that has to do with the access of the SFT data by all the teams, and there's a number of other issues that kind of go along with why it is that way. But I mean, you even see that in iRacing, in the sim. You have setup shops that are supporting pro drivers and releasing track guides and setup guides and all this stuff, and then eventually there's a meta strategy or a cheese or a really good setup or whatever it is, that if you go to the very, very high splits, everybody's going to adopt that. And if you don't, whether it's a car, whether it's a setup, whether it's the shifting or whatever it is, and when you see everybody doing the same thing, then it takes away a little bit of the unpredictability of how the race is going to play out. And because of how close the cars are in performance already, it's just going to make them that much closer, that much harder to pass, that much more challenging, which in some cases you can argue it's more competitive. But I think in iRacing, it's cool to have things like this because you have drivers in HVTV After Dark that are from all these different disciplines, different leagues, different communities, different skill levels within oval racing. And you kind of get to see the cream rise to the top, right? The people that have the best strategies will be competitive and if everybody else can kind of figure out and learn from that on the fly. So I think it is an interesting mix there.
I definitely agree. And, you know, I was always someone who was kind of a little can why NASCAR and wanted to go away from the shifting. I always felt like it was like a strategy that you can in the back of your pocket, right? You look back when shifting was like mandatory when we first got this next gen car, right? Like at Phoenix, right? You saw some drivers who didn't forward, some trip down to third, and but actually, negate, how tire wear worked, how quickly you could drop to the field out, not shift. You would save tires a little bit. Try to shift, right? Buff up a little bit more, and I felt like it was a tool versus almost like a cheat. At least in real life, obviously in iRacing, everybody's just gonna kind of follow the leader because at the end of the day, it's a game simulator. It's all coded in, and there's always gonna be a way to go faster on the sim. But at real life, right? I always thought of as the shifting as is a detriment to the car, right? Because look at back in the day, Chase Briscoe was one of the first people to kind of adopt the shifting technique. He ended up winning first next gen race at Phoenix, I believe, by being a little bit different, shifting and being a little bit aggressive, downshifting the car turn. Now, I'm a little confused why NASCAR would want to take that away from the drivers.
Yeah, and I appreciate you engaging with my little bit of a digression there, but yeah, I mean, you have to strike a balance between new technology and the essence of the sport, and like staying with what the essence of the sport is. And there's always going to be people that are going to argue one side or the other. But I think that what people don't like to see is when everybody adopts a new technology that's supposed to be used uniquely among different drivers, and then you see everybody do the same thing, whether that's shifting exactly the same way, whether that's going 25% throttle 4 wide at a super speedway and nobody trying to get up to the front. Whatever the case, I think you're seeing more and more of that. On one hand, you have to do what you have to do to be competitive as a driver and a team. But on the other hand, the fans are the reason why they exist at all, why they do all this stuff. So at least here in the sim, it's all for the fans, it's all for fun. And we'll see what kind of show these guys are going to put on. So we're rolling into qualifying right now.
Awesome, guys. Up towards bases, but get a sleeper here. We start this race.
Well, as a biased selection, for all of us, I think, looking at a guy like Carter Kingsley, who spends a lot of time in the sim, just in a lot of different race cars, which, like Jeff mentioned, seat time is just helpful in general, no matter how you look at it. And so for Carter, he's definitely got a lot of experience behind the wheel. We also mentioned earlier, Christian, in the Kansas race, Carter came up from the console games, came up from Heat, then transitioned into NR, and then eventually into iRacing, right? And so I think for Carter, coming to a track like this, you've seen it so many different times in a lot of different versions and formats in the games that you've engaged with in the past, but that familiarity is just a lot more helpful, I feel, at times, and especially given that Carter does a lot for our network. It'd be really cool to see him go back to victory lane here in the HVTV After Dark series. So Carter Kingsley so far doing a pretty good job of being able to set himself up for that, as he is currently top of the leaderboard, followed by, I believe that's Pat Connell in the 46. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that'd be my pick. But I guess we can all go through our individual picks as qualifying continues here.
I want to bring up another Carter. The 4 of Carter Casey, I believe, is who ran last race at Kansas and now is in the 4 here at Martinsville. And I'm not sure if he's going to sit down a qualifying time here, but he came out of nowhere. I had never seen him in an HBTV After Dark or another league. You know, apologies if other people know him and they know that he's a good driver. But he really impressed me with running up front with the likes of, you know, Mosteller, New Bigging, those guys running up front that run up front every race with us. So I'm looking for him, you know, the trucks at Kansas is a totally different challenge, but I'm looking for him to see what he can do in this race.
Well, I'm going to take the fan pick here. I'm going to have to go with Mose here. You see, still looking for his first win here in After Dark. I feel like this is one of the more talent-based tracks here that we're going to go to, especially in the next gen here. He actually goes top the board here, Carter. So, you know, Mose has wanted to get one done under his belt for a while, and I think that's a big reason why we picked this track, or why, you know, Mose and Gavin and Carter and everybody helped with background help pick this. Wanted to start to bring some of the, you know, skill-based, you know, car track combos back to life here. Obviously, we love the unique car track combos, but also, you know, we want to see who the fast guys are occasionally. Right now, Demo top of the board. We see Riley Maxwell bigging out on track right now, and just a minute and a half left in qualifying. We still have a couple of big names at the set of lap time as they are on track. Douglas Bigging up to P. Sean Rowe now is up to P2, almost up to Mosteller there. Not quite enough yet, but here Contreras driving to the.
Yeah, and something I want to point out is that Demos actually went faster on his second lap as he now gets bumped down to third place. So does Sean Rowe. So a lot of these guys being able to pretty much just set their hot lap of the first lap of qualifying, and then their second lap just really put the pedal to the metal and best that time that they set previously. So Sean Rowe is in the top spot right now. So pretty cool stuff to see him up front after getting involved in a few incidents, at least one that I can think of in the last race at Kansas for the trucks. So we got Rowe, New Bigging, and Demo so far for your top three.
As Sean Rowe is in to the pole position as of now. And looks like I'll be eating those words with Carter Casey, as I'm not sure if he's in the session or going to sit down a qualifying lap. But either way, got a pretty competitive front of the field here at Martinsville.
Yeah, and talking about Carter Casey, you know, he came up, I believe, from had to have been 22nd spot up to that top three, where he was battling with New Bigging and Demos. So I think it'd be cool to see if he can replicate that momentum through the field in a completely different track in Martinsville. So, but yeah, we are basically ready and good to go here. We'll have to look at your starting grid to kick us off here for Martinsville.
Take a look at our top five here. Qualifying here to start your race, we have kind of the big five, really. John Rowe, Douglas, the Contreras, and Carter Kingsley, your top five. Acuna back there.
Yeah, taking a look at the fourth and onward rows, we've got Pat Connell, and followed by him is going to be Samson Leonard in the 62, Colin Murth in the 9th place starting position, Riley Maxwell in the 10th place position, Kenneth R. Laura in the 11th place car, Lane Sanders in the 12th, and we'll have Jeff round out the rest of your starting lineup here.
Yeah, last 5 cars starting this race: Cole Trudeau, Marty Schmela, Carter Casey, Chris Tinsley, and Mason Lidkey, rounding out your field here at Martinsville. Smaller field than we got at Kansas, obviously. The trucks at Kansas, almost flat out, very high speed, very popular combination there. But this is really going to show, like I said, where the cream rising to the top here in terms of the people that are going here. They want to be fast. They're confident. They know that they can be competitive here. So we'll see who comes out on top.
Yeah, smaller field. I think that might play into the hands of the guys further in the front of the pack. I don't think we're going to see as many cautions as we might be anticipating with these guys because we have a smaller field, and so I think we're going to see a lot more spaced out action here, probably some lap traffic later on. But with what is once again essentially a sprint race relative to this track being Martinsville, yeah, definitely thinking that these guys are probably going to be chipping away at laps in larger chunks for the green flag runs. But definitely not to say that there's going to be less aggression by any means. I think there's going to be a lot of aggression actually out of the majority of the field here, trying to maximize track position. But for the likes of the people in the top 5, Sean Rowe, Doug Newbigging once again trying to make it back to back. Demos so close at Kansas right there. Aldem Contreras, he was taking it 3 wide on that last restart, almost got it done there. And then Carter Kingsley going to be another guy to look out for. So a lot of guys with a lot of speed for sure.
I definitely agree. We see the lights off on the pace car. The back stretch, the front stretch, my apologies, as we take a look at our race weather here for tonight's race. 68-degree air temp, 70-degree track temp. That's almost optimal conditions here with 80% humidity, little to no wind. Clear skies here, Martinsville, Virginia. So can't wait to get ready to go green here. 60 laps from Martinsville. The front 4, notable front runners up here in the series, but Sean Rowe, Douglas Newbigging, Mosteller, and Contreras leading us to green as we go through 3 and 4. Running out of 3 and 4, Sean Rowe. Douglas Newbigging, last race's winner, through the Geico restart zone, back green here. The start race 1 is they're wrecking in the back.
Yeah, we had a 27 car, I think it was. Take a little bit of a slide there. We'll likely stay green as we see some wall contact to the outside. That orange machine getting way wide on corner exit.
Got a couple cars go way up high off turns 1 and 2. Not sure if they got out of the groove on their own on cold tires. They got moved out of the way, got some help.
Yeah, and you see a lot of front end damage to Demos actually already. That front nose caved in just a little bit on that Chevy Camaro.
Take a little bit of a checkup on that top side with Newbigging. Now most bumper to the back of the 99. Going to try to make the move here down through the front stretch into 3 and 4. 87, he down to the bottom through 1 and 2.
Side by side coming off of 2 here. Demos is just barely, they're neck and neck into 3 still. It's the exciting racing that we want to see for the lead here. He's going to barely clear. Sean Rowe gives him the bumper back, but Demos keeps the lead.
Yeah, and just like we mentioned in the pre-race, Christian, with the next gens, we anticipated that there was going to be that contact that you can afford to do in these cars because of the composite bodies. And so definitely a lot of beating and banging that you can afford to do with this race car. Definitely not to the detriment of someone like Demos, who already has that front nose caved in a little bit. And, I mean, at a short track, you're not going to have, significant emphasis on the aerodynamics on the front end of that car. But nonetheless, goes to show just how much you can do and still be running pretty fast with this car.
Obviously,
in the sim, I have to say the damage is a little bit finicky, though, because you can get a little bit of damage in the wrong spot, and that could really hurt your mid-corner rotation, mid-corner speed. That's crucial at a track like Martinsville.
Yeah, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. Right now I feel like the most can hold on here with just the fresh tires, right? With everybody kind of up the gear, he can use his talent to kind of keep his car in front, but you might see this car start to lose handling over someone like Sean Rowe. Maybe Newbigging and Contreras and Kingsley back there. As the run goes on, the tires start to wear. You might start to see that nose damage start to come into effect. And when maybe get 20, 25, 30 laps, if we do get there, this 87 might start to lose the handling just a little bit. You actually see him start to drift up a little bit more compared to the 99 back there behind him.
Yeah, and we saw Sean Rowe going at it with Contreras in the practice session that we were broadcasting. So he was definitely doing his due diligence and getting a lot of lap time in. Doing him good here as he's running second, keeping some really good pace. Maybe a little bit faster than Demos, obviously, who was in front of him starting the race off here, but I think he's also just trying to size Demos up here, see where he can try to pounce, as we are already almost going to be approaching some lap traffic. So maybe an opportunity here for Sean Rowe as we approach 10 of 60 laps complete here at Martinsville.
And already we're seeing lap traffic will be a factor here at Martinsville. Mosteller and Rowe checked out from the rest of the field. Do you think that the guys like Newbigging, Contreras, Carter Kingsley are saving tire and waiting for these guys to maybe battle and burn their stuff up at the front? Or do you think that Mosteller and Rowe are just that much quicker than the field guys?
I think it might be a little bit of both, right? I think Demos and Sean right now are trying to get away, right? For sure. I know Doug has a talent. I know Contreras and Kingsley probably do. Even Riley Maxwell, he's pretty solid in his own right. But I think right now Demos and Sean have an agenda to maybe get away here. But, you know, we're catching lap traffic. 2 cars side by side. These 2 lap cars is a Kuna.
For the leader. No, what are we
Frickin'
doing?
The
Oh,
leader,
man.
man. And
That's the leader.
Mosteller caught up big time in that. No caution.
We're still green. We're still green.
Mosteller completely tore up here. Your race leader caught up with the lap car. And now look at the
Yeah,
gap.
that was-
He has got to be beside himself right now.
He's
Like,
still-
what
wait,
are we
what the-
doing as the lap cars?
He's still there. The lap car is still stopped on the track. What are we doing? Oh, he's gone now.
Yeah, that's,
You know, I was just going to mention, I think with the lap cars, you know, we were talking about saving tire. I'm not so sure that these guys are too worried about saving necessarily, because you still have to get through all that lap traffic that the leaders are going to be getting by. And so you don't want to put yourself in a disadvantageous position by trying to hang back and hoping that the leaders will come back towards you while you're just biding your time. But, I mean, for Demos, though, that was kind of just wrong place, wrong time for him.
Yeah, very unfortunate break for Demos there, because as he drops from the lead all the way to 6th position, right in front of Patrick Connell there. And Sean Rowe is checked out from the rest of the field, with Newbigin, Contreras, and Kingsley chasing him.
yeah, Sean Rowe right now on an island of his own, going to catch the back end of that 86. Nate Sanders, you know, he's slowly became an After Dark regular here. Hasn't had the success that he's seen in other series, like in Asphalt Media and Air Night in America, but still showing out, showing up, right? You know, right now, currently 12th place. But Sean Rowe going to try to put him a lap down. We see him being pretty cordial, letting that 99 go. He's obviously the quicker car right now. He's laying a little bit of right front damage there. But yeah, Mo's got to be beside himself right now. We thought the car was going to drive bad with the damage now, but he's completely tore up. And like Matthew said, wrong place, wrong time. Diego, you know, spun. He went up the track. That was just the wrong place to go. Sean Rowe just went underneath. Both those cars took the race lead away.
Yeah, and it definitely won't be a win at Martinsville for the HVTV After Dark with Demos. Gonna have to wait for maybe a race 3 here to see if he can give himself a chance to check that box on his racing resume. But yeah, definitely not what he was hoping for here at Martinsville. I want to take us back to the lead here as Doug Newbigging trying to do his best to stay in touch with Sean Rowe, just within 2 seconds of that lead position there, right in front of these guys running behind him, of Contreras in that 3 car, getting around some lap traffic. But you can see him at the end of the straightaway going into turn 1. Sean Rowe, we know that he's one of those guys that can just get it done. You know, talking about transfers to transfers to get into other races. You know, we know him for that most famous call by John of Sean Rowe is in, Sean Rowe is out. But you know, he is definitely one of those guys on the super speedways that we're used to seeing up towards the front, but not so much at a short track, at least as far as I'm aware of. But nonetheless, Sean Rowe is one of those guys that you always just, you know, see running up towards the front. And I don't want to say that I'm surprised, but I'm certainly intrigued by whether or not Doug Newbigging, who we know has speed one last race, is going to be able to bring it to him for the lead.
Doug in the middle of that traffic there, the 27 Amuth did not let him go, right? He trying to stay on the lead lap here, and Miranda Rose, or my apologies, Kenneth Laura, trying to stay on the lead lap as well, I think, trying to fight tough on the top side. 99 clears. He's doing a phenomenal job getting through the lap traffic outside. I mean, yeah, even with that spin, you know, he was the one who took the race lead, pulled himself out there by a 2.5 second gap here. Doug still tries to close in. Still, you know, at least from looking at time, he's running around, like matching his pace, not really catching him at all.
He is knifing through this lap traffic with excellent efficiency and precision here. Newbigging and Contreras maintaining that gap a decent amount, but I don't know if at this point in the run, 25 laps in, if there's going to be much life left in those tires. I mean, you know, like we said at the beginning, they could be saving to try and make a late push at this. But Sean Rowe is checked out and trying to increase that gap even further here.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, something to pay attention to is Demos, who is actually back up into 5th. You know, I'm not so sure that he's done, you know, climbing up through the field here. He's obviously found something with this race car, despite the damage that he may have gotten. Although it's not terminal, definitely affecting the car, but not enough to the point where he's dropping like a fly through the field, which is, I mean, that just goes to show, you know, the driver talent and the ability that he has to take the circumstances that he's given and do the best with that. And so I'm curious to see if he's going to be able to march further up in the pack. But another guy to look at, Carter Kingsley, you know, keeping it clean, biding his time in 4th place. We saw him, he was on the pole provisionally for a while. Then he got bested by a few of the other guys who are currently in front of him. But Carter Kingsley, one of those guys that, you know, if he keeps the car clean and the others getting an incident further up in front of him, he'd be sitting pretty right there in 4th place.
I agree, and you know, I'm looking at most lap times, he's about a 10th quicker a lap than even the race leader here. So he's found something in this car, like Matthew had said, but I just don't. It's 6.5 seconds back, making up a 10th a lap. I mean, I just don't know if there's enough time for him to get back up there, but we'll have to see. I think definitely a caution is what this 87 needs to get himself back in the picture here to race for the win, because, you know, if you think about it, he has the time to get there. He has the amount of laps to get back up there if he's about a 10th or 2 a lap quicker. But you know that when he gets to the back of Contreras and Newbegin, they're not just going to pull over and let him go. They will, you know, hold him up a little bit as they try to fight for that position.
Yeah, I agree, Christian. And another thing I want to point out is that we're already over halfway done with this race here, so time is definitely ticking down, and Demo's probably not going to be able to take the fight to the leaders, but going to be able to say that he did the best with what he could. So pretty cool to see that out of him. And so far, you know, no cautions yet on the speedways. It almost pretty much. Oh, as we see, actually, Contreras spinning with the 84 car. You see the front nose caved in there. I mean, just like that, the announcer curse, you know, is spoken into existence. But no caution necessarily, but definitely a big incident with some front end damage for both of those cars.
This might be your caution if he gets caught in the wrong spot here. 2 MCM machines right there. Shamela, lead key. Trying to race around each other right now. Shamela not there. I think he wanted. He's borderline almost going a lap down. So trying to stay on the lead lap here, but and now a little bit of battle. Most got around Carter. Trying to chunk this thing down. He's underneath 5 seconds here with 26 to go.
Demos doing Demos things. What else is new? Front end damage, a 10th faster than the field, and now driven up to 3rd. I mean, what else can you say about this guy? Yeah, 26 to go. Not sure if he has enough time to get up there, but as we've seen, a caution can happen. Someone can spin, a lap car can affect the outcome, hold somebody up. Who knows what's going to happen in his last few laps.
Yeah, and I don't think, like, we realize just how insane this is, because he did not get a caution when he spun. So everybody else maintained race speed while he was spinning and probably stationary for a good few seconds, able to stay within the top 10 and now be in touch of this top pack here as he continues to navigate the lap traffic. But like you said, Jeff, Demos doing Demos things. Very used to this here in the iRacing community for sure.
Talk about Doug is starting to close in on the 99 here. Little by little, so he was, you know, he was back to 2.5. Now he's down under a 2.5 seconds. So talked about Sean Rowe maybe pushing a little bit too hard, hoping for something to happen. He's slowly getting caught by Newbegin. He's also getting caught by Most, who's faster than both of these two in front of him in lap traffic. So I mean, he's cutting this down. We'll see. I mean, it's gonna be close to see if he can get there in time, but I mean, he's anywhere from a 10th to 4/10ths quicker a lap than the two cars in front.
Well, yeah, and I'm not so sure that gap between first and second running positions wasn't because of the lap traffic we've been talking about this whole time with Sean Rowe. As you see Demos getting a big run, a little bit of a chrome horn there to the Papyrus machine as he's going to actually spin. Oh,
there goes the 44.
Man, contact.
Roger Connell around. Caution will wave.
That's going to be a caution.
Oh, Demos is loving this. He's loving it. This could be the storyline of the week right here, with Demos looking for his first win here.
Not what Sean Rowe wanted to see at all. With Mosteller coming with a head of steam. erases that gap completely from the no caution on the spin that he had earlier. You see the incident here. Lane Sanders coming off the wall, just gets into the 44 and coming back across the track.
The
Look at that
Demos.
speed
Demos with a
difference, man.
really, what an aggressive entry, and I think he just kind of
Oh,
spooked him and
yeah.
intimidated button Lane Sanders a little
Yeah.
bit in the turn 1.
Not even the chrome horn. That was the Dale button right there, if you call that. So I'm coming
Yeah.
through, and then you completely spooked the 86. Fortunately, he just basically parked it in front of Patrick Connell, and Patrick's just kind of stopped here on the front stretch. I mean, on the back stretch. My apologies. Kind of a no-brainer. You kind of needed to call that because you don't know if he's going to just back up into the field and everything else. So yeah, I wouldn't say Demos instigated that, but he definitely spooked that 86 into making a mistake there, which initially was the reason why we got this yellow. So that brings most into it. I imagine we'll see drivers down pit road here to the tires. Yeah, here you see Sean Rowe, Mosteller, Contreras down pit road here. Demos almost wins the race off pit road, but no, Douglas. He's out.
Oh, wow.
No, he does not
Yeah.
stay out. He took maybe 2 tires, I'm going to say.
Probably 2, yeah. Right sides, maybe.
9 seconds in
But
the
yeah, I
box.
mean-
So I'm going to say 2 tires stop for this number 71 machine.
An interesting call there.
I like it. I like the track position call here because you might get more cautions, and so if you want that track position and you know that, maybe for Doug, he wasn't able to, run him down. Otherwise, right, just running race pace on the short run, or rather the long run, I think that's a not too bad of a call to make here with less than a third of the race left. But yeah, I mean, Demos now is going to have the option to restart in either the top or the bottom lane, and I think that's where you want to be actually if you're in his position.
Yeah, Demos still has a handicap of that front bumper damage. That's going to slow him a little bit mid-corner, make that right front burn up a little bit more than the others. But as we've seen, that didn't seem to affect him at all after that spin that he had in the first run. So we'll see how aggressive he is on this restart. We'll see who ends up beating who in a turn 1.
Yeah, and he also has for those 4 tires, so any difference that damage may present relative to the 71 may be negated.
Have to see Doug actually squeezing up that 99 a little bit as we get ready to go back into the restart zone. Douglas to Biggie and back to green here. 15 to go. What will most do to get back to the race lead? Exactly. Oh, there's a car stop there. I don't know if that's going to be a caution. He needs to get off the track there. This is exactly what Doug wanted to see, was these 2 cars, the 99 and the 87. You see them loose. They're battling out there right after the spot.
In the back.
78 in the back. I'm sure who that is. But we'll see.
I'm thinking this race for the lead is going to be between the 2nd and 3rd place cars here, because I don't know how long that 71 is going to be able to maintain position with those 2 tires.
And I'll say this, Doug is a dirt racer. He knows how to slide these things around. He has a lot of experience in the next gen. I'm not going to keep it away from the 71. Sean Rowan to the outside wall. Car slow on the top. Everybody wrecking here.
There's 2 of them.
On the top.
Yeah, there was an incident for sure, I think, that we missed, but yeah, lap traffic is going to be a factor for sure here as we see the 84 once again still on the racetrack.
Ultra Doug just needs to get out of the way here. But now 2 laps down, he's out of it here without a caution. Let these guys race it out here. But once again, like I said, Mosteller and Sean Rowe. Mosteller has to get around the 99 if he wants to get to the 71. These 2 have to battle it out or get back to the 71. You see Mo's trying to do anything to get around here. Using the top lane, trying to diamond the corner here.
Fast.
He's looking inside of Sean Rowe. Now looking outside of Sean Rowe, right? These guys battling it out exactly what the 71 needs to do here. If anything, he needs to just park it on entry, make sure he doesn't get moved, and he has a shot here with 10 to go.
Well, when you're in the car, I mean, you guys have been maybe in a position similar to this before, but when you're Sean Rowe, are you looking in your rearview mirror or out the windshield more here?
I mean, in the spot where he is, he's holding on 2 tires. You're mirror driving. You have to, right? You saw Sean basically moving driving the 71 for him, right? Just putting the chrome horn to him. But we know Doug, he's very experienced in these situations. He knows when he needs to park the car there. As he goes wide there. Most will have a shot here as if he can try to get to the inside. He is not quite there as Doug will fend off here, try to defend on the bottom.
Yeah, what an epic battle between Demos and Sean Rowe, side by side. But Biggin, they're both, everybody's loose off the corner, off of turn 4. Biggin keeps the lead for now. How long is it going to last? So Demos is right on the bumper. Sean Rowe back to the inside of the 87.
Yeah, Demos got to the bumper of the 71, and Sean Rowe put the bumper to Demos, which got him up the track. Allows the 99 to get back into the second place position. And now what does Demos do, right? 6 to go. He wants this more than anybody else, right? He's going to try to go top of 3. Now back to top of 2. Get a good run off the corner. I mean, what you talk about, I mean, this is unbelievable, Newmaning by the 71 here. Try to keep this race lead. Try to go back-to-back here at Martinsville.
Well, if I'm Sean Rowe, I gave him the frumper there. I'm going to be basically knowing that Demos has a free pass to do basically whatever he wants. So he's actually going to clear Sean Rowe. A little bit of a crossover move here at Martinsville. Out of the 99, Sean Rowe. Carter Kingsley still on the bottom of the racetrack. The 71 still stays in the lead.
Sean
Maybe
Rowe.
3 wide.
They're going to be 3 wide almost. New Biggie's going to clear both of them and avert the crisis there. Discretion, the better part of valor for the 3 of them for now, but 4 to go.
Doug getting moved there by the 99.
Out of the way!
Demos!
Go to the lead!
Contreras makes it through.
Side by side.
Side by side with Sean Rowe, and these guys have been putting the bumper to each other all race long, so anything's on the table here. Most will get the inside advantage here going through 3 and 4. Sean Rowe backs up. You know you know what's coming here. Yeah, and so does Demos as he tries to defend there on the bottom side.
This is unbelievable racing here at Martinsville. Sean Rowe and Daniel Mosteller side by side again. They said, no, we don't want to race for second. We want to race for the win here. 2 to go.
These guys are going at it here at Martinsville. The paperclip. We said it at the pre-race. These guys are going to be going at it. Elbows out. We're coming to the white flag here.
Demos all over the back end of that number 99, but unfortunately he's kind of pushing him out. But Demos will be on the offensive here. What does he do to get this win? Back into the 99. John Rowe keeps a hold of it. What's Demos going to do going into 3 and 4?
He's got one more shot at it right here. Sends it in. Moves it in at the track. Through goes Demos. Through goes Demos. He's loose.
Oh, wow. He got it.
I think
He
Demos
got it. Oh, my gosh.
Go ahead and give it to him. One of the best finishes in After Dark history here. And what a way to finish that off. New Bigging not very happy with the 2 first and second place finishers, but man, what a race for the win up there, that last run.
Daniel Mosteller just won the race after spinning and not getting a caution. This is unbelievable stuff, and all for it to be for his maiden victory here in the HUTV After Dark series. This is just storybook ending stuff right here. This is just unbelievable.
Yeah, Demos has been waiting for so long to get this thing under his belt. Mosteller finally gets it done here for Martinsville, and what a barn burner between him, New Biggin, and Sean Rowe. But Demos comes out on top here from Martinsville.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah,
This is just
speechless.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
The cars did the talking. I mean, like I got to go back and see a replay of that for sure, because there were at least 10 lead changes within the last several laps there.
I mean, the whole last 10 laps even. I mean, unreal stuff.
Trying to see if we can get a replay here. Our replay button's going to work. Now we're just going to have to do manual play, because we do need to go back and take a look at these. I would say these last couple laps here with the old-fashioned way. We'll rewind the tape here. Take a look at this battle here for the win. This is back when 71 of Douglas New Biggin was still trying to hold on here. Did you see the 2 who will inevitably be racing for the win here? Still out in front, Doug trying to hold on. You see these 2 behind in second and third, crossing each other over, trying to do everything they can, and then finally the bumper gets put to the back of the 71 here. He holds on. And I mean, you got to give like a slow clap to Doug. I mean, holding on 2 tires. He almost got this if he doesn't get moved like that by the 99, but you knew that was coming sooner or later. contact with him in the 92. He goes up into the outside wall. And back here to the battle for the lead. This is what we're really looking for. Demos and Sean Rowe battle it out here for the race 2 here from Martinsville.
Yeah, it's just like poetry in motion there. One fakes high, one dives low to defend, the other goes to the outside to try to get a run off the corner. And they were just bumper to bumper for that entire last half of the race almost, it seemed. Trying different lines. I mean, you thought that when somebody had it made, you thought Sean Rowe had it right here when Demos pushed him out to the lead. And
not only that, he did it again here out on the exit of the corner. Sean Rowe got out. We get the white flag. We knew that something was going to have to happen here. For Demos to get it.
A veteran move out of Demos to not push the issue and shove him out of the way and give him a free pass to do whatever he wanted to him into turn 3. Instead, now he has the opportunity to put the bumper to him. Didn't completely wreck him, just moved him. And as you can see, side by side, almost a photo finish there as Sean Rowe battled back on the outside.
7/100ths of a second for those two drivers. And see if we can go back and maybe take a different look at the line here. I mean, it was a lot closer than I think a lot of people expected it to be. Going into 3 and 4, most of the back of the 99. That close for the 87 there. So, but further ado, I think it's time to talk to the man of the race here. What a comeback for Mosteller. Let's talk to the 87 here in the booth. Most, it's Christian, Matthew, and Jeff up here in the booth. Got a copy?
I do.
Well, finally, getting your first win here in HVTV After Dark. Obviously a pioneer for these series. Took a little bit of time, but you earned this one. I mean, getting wrecked from the lead, coming back. Probably had a shot to race them down the hard way. Got the caution you needed, and what a duel between you, the 71 and the 99 of Sean Rowe.
Yeah, it was my second win actually, but you know, doesn't matter. I haven't won one on the channel yet, so that was kind of in the back of my mind, and I knew specifically this combo. I love my short track racing, so if I had this one circled on the night to possibly win, and got the lead early, and then obviously I got wrecked from the lead, and I was pretty angry. Didn't throw the yellow because I was involved, and I didn't want to be an avid and hungry person. Kept at it, you know, and I was running them down. I think if it went green all the way, I probably would have honestly caught Sean and maybe passed him back. But had the yellow. Doug took 2 tires, and he was kind of a roadblock there. So I think me and Sean just took turns doing it, and I think eventually he moved Doug out of the way, I believe. And that gave me an opportunity, and then, you know, he shipped me. I shipped him, and then he would brake check me out of the corner, and I was like, you know, if he's gonna do all that, you know, gonna expect the bumper. So it took me like three sets of corners to actually like bump him. It wouldn't do anything. But luckily I got it right on the last set of corners, then was able to get the win.
Definitely entertaining. Rest to call up here in the booth, and I mean that was like Jeff had called it, like poetry in motion. Just saw everything coming to a storybook ending there with, you know, Doug finally getting a bumper put to him. He got out of the way, and then it was between you and the 99, and obviously you get your first broadcasted win. That's kind of my apology, but here on the channel. But you know, Jeff and Matthew, anything for Demos?
Yeah, Demos, I mean, it was obviously awesome to see you battle out throughout the entirety of the race. Talk to us a little bit about the damage that you got, obviously, on the front nose after the first few laps there. We saw the front was caved in just a little bit. And then, obviously, if there was any damage from that spin, obviously some tire wear from that. But, yeah, talk to us about if you felt any difference in your car, because it looked to be that you were just kind of in a world of your own. You didn't care, and you were just kind of, you know, marching your way up through the field.
Hey, hold up, guys. Christian, don't join that session. I messed it up. I did not switch it to Daytona, so don't join that one. Yeah, the damage definitely, it hurt me. I was definitely tighter, and I think if I had a clean car, I would have driven away even more. But I think it hurt me, but I think it allowed me to persevere, and I think that's something that I've needed. You know, nothing comes easy, obviously, and I've had it pretty rough in my own lobbies. So to kind of fight and claw to get the win there, I mean, it meant a lot, and I'm glad that I actually, like, you know, broke through, and hopefully this, like, starts like a string of races.
Obviously, we hope for that as well too. Obviously, um, you know, I think it was a big surprise to a lot of us that you couldn't break through. What, you know, a good month now, right? Since we started these, but you know, knowing you, really opens a can of worms for a lot of drivers here. And you know, you talk about momentum, right, most, and what it means to just get that first win. You know, then you can finally string along a couple more. So obviously, we go to Daytona, um, a track that you're kind of notoriously pretty good at here. Not only here in the lobbies, but just in general, right? With the way you know how to navigate the draft and stuff, with especially um not only in action, but looking at, you know, next coming race, look for you to go back to back if you that's something that you do.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. I've been pretty consistent on the super speedways, you know, in this series. So I feel like I'll definitely have a shot, obviously. But with it only being 15 laps, you know, it's gonna go by in you know, very quickly. So I think it's all about just, I guess, staying alive. I think that's the, you know, the main thing you got to do, especially with you know, the group of drivers that we have who are very aggressive.
And I gotta ask really quickly, Demos, while we still have you here, what is your strategy, if you have one, about using the bumper in a race like that? You know, we saw you and Sean Rowe dueling back and forth. You guys have shared many duels before in the past. You guys are very respectful racers with each other and our night in America and otherwise. But in a situation like that, is it like he moved me, I'm gonna move him kind of thing? Do you save the best for last on the last lap? Like how do you navigate that situation there, or do you just do what's natural, what comes to you?
You know, that's a good question. I've been very notorious for kind of going out of my way and doing it unprompted. I've always lived by, you know, if you're gonna dish it out, you got to learn how to take it, and that's something I've had to learn personally. So I definitely, like, you know, I used it first, and he used it back, and then, you know, he used it on me a little bit, and then I dished it back, and then he would like brake check it on the corner exit, you know, and then that kind of, it's no bad blood, obviously. I just think it kind of goes both ways. I didn't feel like I did anything super bad. Maybe I went a little over the top there, doing it 3 straights at the corners, but short track racing, I would expect him to do it to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
I
And
agree.
you gotta
Hey,
you gotta live with the consequences when you do it, you know. So
yeah,
he's
it's
gonna, you know,
It's
return the favor in the
Martinsville.
future. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's Martinsville, man. Whoever's second in the last corner gets the last laugh usually. So
Yes, sir, Jeff.
good stuff.
Well,
Well,
we
awesome. Congrats on your win, man. Awesome to see you do it in front of the fans here on HUTV After Dark. And yeah, good luck at the next race, this final race of the night at Daytona.
Thank you. It's an honor to be talking to the Prochaskis and Delgado.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Prochaski's first, of course, but and well, congrats, Demos, and hopefully you can go back to back here.
Thank you.
Demos finally gets it done. You know, it was about dang time, but we'll see what he can do here from Daytona. Obviously, session's up, so um for Daniel Mosteller, just look for HVTV After Dark. Make sure you join this tab. I think he actually did take down that first session. So for anybody who is watching the broadcast right now, he did mess up one session, but he did make the second one. It's gonna be called Join This HVTV After Dark for the ARCA car. Jeff, are you gonna plan on racing race 3? No, you don't. You don't have the ARCA car once again. So
So unfortunately, and we've gone over this before, if you guys don't know, if the viewers don't know, I am notorious for being stingy with my finances when it comes to purchasing iRacing content. So I have the old ARCA car, the old Gen 4. That was what we ran. I started my career in Under Night in America with that car and all this stuff. And I'm grateful when they've done, IDK Player, when we're doing Under Night in Americas on the IDK Player channel. He'll do some races where it's actually multi-class, the Legacy ARCA, Legacy, the Gen 4 ARCA car and the Gen 6 ARCA car together, which I always represent the Gen 4 ARCA car. But hey, man, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, you know? If we're doing more and more of these, I'm available to do these races. You know, I love hanging out with you guys in the booth, but you know that I would love first and foremost to be in the seat on the track, running with these guys. So especially at a track like Daytona. So we'll see. Stay tuned in the future, man. But I know that these always race you know, just like the trucks in a lot of cases, Daytona is obviously a true super speedway, but even at the mile-and-a-half tracks like Charlotte, Texas, Kansas, like we saw earlier today, these ARCA cars can really put on a show with, the limited horsepower, and it really makes a draft and using the air to your advantage a really huge factor in the racing. Um, and it just makes it for an entertaining show for pretty much everybody. One of the best races in recent memory, maybe in the history of Enter Night in America. That Matthew and Christian, you guys remember this? The ARCA Series race at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the night race, where it was just an unbelievable back and forth, where it seemed like the draft was on 200%, like you could set it, change like an NR 2003 INI file for the track, where it seemed like cars were just passing each other back and forth, and huge runs and side drafting and side by side at the line every time, and lead changes, and these cars put on a show pretty much everywhere they go, and I'm really excited to see what these guys do here in prime time on the big stage at APTV After Dark here at Daytona.
Yeah, and speaking of that race, Jeffrey, who was it that won that race? It was Demos, right? In spectacular fashion, wrecking coming to the line, so maybe able to get it done once again in the Gen 6 ARCA car. Demos knows how to get it done for sure in APTV After Dark, but particularly with that ARCA car, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how we can do it, as we see practice already up.
Get everybody out on track already. We'll see probably the session fill up pretty quick here. It's Daytona ARCA, pretty popular car track combo. My opinion, ARCA car, nicest looking car we have in the top, if you want to call it top 4 series, right? Now I have this debate of, like, do you call ARCA a top 4 series, or do you put them in that development program? Do you do like Cup, O'Reilly, Truck, and then you have another subcategory of like modifieds, ARCA, and I don't know, something else, right? I don't really know how you'd categorize ARCA.
Yeah, it kind of depends on who you ask. If you ask somebody like Freddie Kraft of Door Bumper Clear, Bubba Wallace's spotter, he'll say that ARCA in today's day and age in real life racing is just expensive street stock racing. You have people that come out there with a big following like Cletus McFarland or Squirrel, who's part of Cletus's community, or just big time business owners, and everywhere from 70-year-old people that are racing fans, or even people that used to race in other series to try it out, all the way to like 15-year-old kids. So it really is a little bit of everything, and it's kind of like the last bastion of that series, where it really is like brung what you brung. Whoever comes to the track, whoever forks up the cash and the equipment, can go out there and have a good time, put on a show. As we have a very special ARCA Menards Chevrolet paint scheme here, driven by the one and only Carter Kingsley here. Matthew, you might know a little bit about what's going on here. Tell us.
Yeah, it's like a trip down memory lane, thinking about my NR 2003 days, which you guys know very well, was always with the 101 number and the Lego font for that car. But as you can see, the Lego car itself revived in iRacing. Oh man, this is such a cool car because of the basically the transparent background image of the Lego pieces just scattered all across the car. I mean, that was pretty much my first paint scheme that I ever made, and you guys know that I made a ton, and this being on a Gen 6 body and at Daytona, arguably my favorite track, starting here in the Gran Turismo 5 days on Daytona. This is a really cool paint scheme, driven by someone who has taken another tribute paint scheme for UC Riverside, my school, to Victory Lane at Talladega. So we know that Carter is more than capable of getting it done at a super speedway. But very cool to see once again the representation for the good old days back in 2022 and onward with that Lego car. And yeah, many of you guys may know Michael Gregory as the driver of the Lego car nowadays, but it was way back when that I started fooling around on NR 2003, and then eventually getting involved in league racing And that's how Christian and I met, and everyone for the most part afterwards kind of started to start hanging out with one another, including Carter. So very cool to see that. But speaking of paint schemes, we see Carter get turned there. Always cool to see the paint schemes under the lights here, and I'm curious what other cars we have on the drivers here. Demos always seems to have some pretty cool schemes here. Yeah, paint schemes just such a cool part of the community and engagement with the iRacing content. So always looking forward to seeing what people bring out here.
Hey, while we're on the topic of the 101 car, really quick, sorry to cut you off, Christian, but I want to know the story of how this car got from the dumpster outside the virtual Chicagoland Speedway after getting totaled in the Rogue Energy Cup Series race where this car last ran. Did we pull the sheet metal out of the dumpster? Did we go sneak past the security at that closed track? Well, not closed anymore, reopening this summer. And pull that out and put it onto an Arca Menard Chevrolet in iRacing. I want to know how this came about, because it's pretty awesome to see a one-to-one, true recreation of the exact same car.
Yeah.
On the track, and Carter does a great job representing the Bean team and the Poppy Perchatsky brand here with the UCR scheme and the Lego scheme. So it's awesome to see that represented here. Awesome to see it back after a couple of years in purgatory there.
Yeah, we should bring Carter up into the booth and maybe have him explain it, because I saw him actually with this paint scheme in his paint booth app. I didn't know what it looked like on the car, but oh man, did you see him throwing some crazy blocks there? But yeah, I'd love to hear just how exactly he transplanted this from NR 2003 to iRacing, because I know I certainly didn't give him any of my contingencies or image files that I used when I made this thing on Paint 3D. So be curious to see what he has to say about that.
Let's go ahead and drag him up here, because he didn't. I mean, someone who's seen this a little too close sometimes. It's pretty spot on. So go ahead and see if we can talk to Carter. Carter, it's Christian, Matthew, and Christian, Jeff, and Poppy up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy, guys.
Obviously, I think.
How did you make this, Carter?
How did I make this?
How did you make this?
Man, I can't even remember where I found the reference. I scrolled, so I heard you guys mentioned Rogue Energy Cup Series. Aaron told me you guys mentioned it on the broadcast. But I was scrolling up in our old Rex chats to try to find a screenshot of this car, and I finally found one of it at Sonoma, and then I had to oh!
He does his, Carter just does his best Dale Earnhardt impression in turn 3.
That's the
best impression of me, reckon. That's awesome, dude.
Then Matthew at Chicagoland, yeah, everything.
But this,
oh my God.
I had to find the exact PNG of the Lego pile, man. That one took like an hour to find. I can't remember where I found that one, but I enjoyed the throwback. It's nice.
That Matthew Mobile 101 machine looks great under the lights here at Daytona. Matthew, what do you think about this? Do you think he's going to win in this car?
I mean, see, the thing is, it would be awesome to see Carter win again at a super speedway with a representative paint scheme honoring me. But at the same in the ARCA car, but at the same time, it would be historically accurate if he. I mean, I'm not saying I want this to happen, but if he wrecked out in a spectacular fashion, blew over into the catch fence, as the big one happens behind them coming to the line, that would be equally as artistic in my opinion. So either way, I'm just happy to see the representation.
Do you think I should let out my inner George Anderson?
I think it.
I don't think George. Oh yeah, I mean.
Oh God!
I don't think George.
Oh gosh, they're using the same camera angle as the one in the lead. Wreck right here.
Yeah, we have a lot of history here at Daytona, all four of us, whether it be in the broadcast booth, behind the controller, behind the wheel of the sim.
The controller.
The controller, man. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but and man, the way that you guys are lining up at the end of pit lane makes me think of the pit party from back in the day. I mean,
right there, the 17.
history repeats itself. Yeah, history repeats itself for sure.
Kind of Aaron said.
But Carter, talk to us a little bit about what you're gonna try to do here at a super speedway in the ARCA car. You got it done at Talladega. What do you need here at Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing, to get it done tonight?
Oh!
Oh my God!
We need that to
Monster
happen.
trucking!
That's what we need.
I didn't know they had Monster Jam at Daytona.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Johnson might have passed away.
Already
here.
passed.
Oh my God! Holy
Yeah,
crap!
There's your catch fence
Yeah,
reaction.
there's the catches. Yeah, DJ of all people gets it. So
No, answer your question, Matthew. I'm gonna need help from Dirty Demos to get this win. He's,
Yep.
And Aaron can be on my
Yeah, we need to drag Aaron in here. Just get a Sparty party.
we got to do it.
For Sparty
Go-
party,
go
yeah.
back.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Run it
It's,
back.
it's the boys in the booth. You got us. Oh,
Yeah, I got you.
okay. Well, now we're reminiscing about, you know, I'm sure you've seen Carter's scheme. So we were just reminiscing about, you know, the good old times. We see you, you know, we're lucky enough to have you racing with us here from, you know, as much as you can here. But you know, we just thought we'd drag up the whole squad here, the Rex crew, and you know, talk us through Daytona through your eyes.
Oh my God!
That's massive. Take that tumble.
Yep.
Save it for the
That's
race!
he was looking like Gran Turismo 5 out here.
Oh my goodness!
6.
Oh my!
How those
Wow.
practice sessions going? Looking on death's door right now. So.
Yeah, let's get a look at Aaron's car here on the screen. I need to take a look at this paint scheme. Oh, this is it.
It won't load my paint scheme. I don't know.
Well, hey,
It's
in
like 15 minutes trying to
in
figure it
traditional NR 2003 fashion, you're stuck with the default cars. So,
anime car.
out. Yep.
yep, there it is.
Oh, dude, we should remake the anime cars. That would just
See,
be cute.
that would be really funny actually, because those were so low res.
Well,
Man.
and the funny thing is like anybody who's raced in the sim, like raced the game, they know what that is, right? So
Yeah.
everybody knows what the anime.
I bet they're
cars
out
are.
there.
Yeah.
I've seen
The-
them
the old-
before.
the stun out racing mods.
Am I doing iRacing or NR 2003? Or I've seen
Yeah.
them.
Well, starting qualifying here, both of you guys in the car. What are you going to be trying to do here? Is there a cheese in the ARCA car?
Well, luckily HVTV After Dark has one lap qualifying, so you don't really have to worry about cheese. You just have to kind of go, man. Get the
Yeah.
best exit you can off pit road, and then rip the wall in 3 and 4, and arc it into the first lap. Oh, I missed a shift.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it to
We
do.
don't want no cheese. We want pedal to the metal here on qualifying and see who can get it done here. But you know, we'll ride on Aaron here. That sets his lap here. But you know, one lapper. You know, are you guys wanting to be aggressive to get up to the front quick, or are you guys wanting to drop to the back and try to drive to the field? I don't think Carter's allowed to, but that car. But
I would like to have the most fun as possible. Which means getting to the front as soon as possible. But I don't know about you, Aaron.
I'm stuck in the back too much with the indies. I tend to get killed that way.
like he's going to the front. That's what we want to see. We want to see some moves and seeing that 22 up front. But wait on these guys to qualify here. See where everybody lines up.
An interesting name here in the session, Willie Evernham in the
I was gonna
24
say.
machine here. And
Yeah.
any relation to the famous crew chief of that same car number?
I
think
thought
it's
Ray
in the
was in the
car.
sim,
There it
man.
is.
That's funny.
Yeah, I got the Bush 7 Harbor throwback scene. I love that.
Oh yeah.
And maybe
And we
some
do
relation-
see time and time again, you know, Hall of Fame NASCAR drivers, crew chiefs, spotters, doing iRacing on a regular basis. You know, we've, you know, Christian, myself, and others. You know, we see current, past, and upcoming drivers and members of the IRL racing community. We see those guys all the time. So it'd be awesome to see any of
Oh
those
my
out
God.
here at HVTV After Dark as Aaron takes a wild ride into 1 and 2.
We've already
Yeah,
had
I
a
mean,
ton of drivers come in here, like some Mason Massey. We had Nick Lights in a practice. Obviously, you look back last night, we had a Kennedy driver of Lake Lothian. You know, he races in AWC part time. The O'Reilly driver who races for Joey Gase, right? So really cool to see, you know, those people come out because, you know, it's kind of that surreal moment. Like, wow, like, you know, they're a part of what we're doing, right? And it's just so surreal, especially for me, you know, who runs and owns the network and everything else. It definitely feels really cool to have, you know, some aspects of, you know, real life, you know, come to fruition, and they come out here and race.
Was fourth gear not to play there or something?
There's 4 gears there, and 4 gears. So
Yeah, I know. Was it not? I was in fourth. Maybe I just suck.
yeah, I don't know, but David Johnson, good qualifying lap for DJ. He's gonna take the pole here. Brendan Meat, the Napa machine. Carter Kingsley, right where he needs the second row here. Top or fast 4 here in qualifying as we a couple of drivers who at a lap time. We see most out on track. Stellar and the Tin Can Designs Toyota Camry. Probably see him up at the top 10.
Same car that won at Charlotte, so lucky paint scheme for him here at Daytona International Speedway. Contreras, Adam Contreras, up to second place. Pretty good running for him in that almost throwback paint scheme to Kyle Busch from the 2013 season. Looks really fitting on that Toyota Camry Gen 6 body that ran from 2013 to 2015.
Through there in the 92. Most across the line. Got the time to score top of the board, Most.
Go ahead and give it to him.
Wow.
Robert Lovell.
Cannot deny him.
83 machine. Down on track. I like that car, but we'll see here on. It doesn't cut the apron, so. That 83. 9-3. Guys running out some laps here. Kick down in qualifying as we get ready to go. Green flag racing. So we're going to drag Aaron and Carter back out of the booth. We wish you both good luck here in our final race of the season. And go get them, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a lot of our drivers up here. 15 lap dash for these drivers. Demos want to make this kind of a fun race. As felt like and I agree, you know, with Demos that those first 2 races were pretty good, in my opinion. So, but waste of time here. Let's go ahead and get your starting lineup. We got 30 drivers who registered for session. Go ahead and get your starting lineup here. Presented by High Velocity starting grid up here. Obviously, we saw Most that good pull lap. David Johnson, DJ, up there in P2. John Rowe back there in P3 alongside that PBR teammate Adam Contreras. Back there in P5, Brandon Meat, Carter Kingsley, 101. Colin Muth, Joey Bremer, back there in P8 and running out the top 8 and top 10. Marty Schmidt. Have some good luck here at the plays. Michael Good running out the top 10.
Taking a look at your 11th through 20th starting positions, Patrick Connell in the 10 car. Next to him, Ethan D. Holland in the 30 car. For row 7, starting lineup's going to have Dylan Dunford in the 94 machine. Then Jeremy Grossnickel in the 43 car. Row 8 is going to be Angelus Ross in the 11 and Cole Trudeau in the 47. Row 9, Brandon Dunford and Christopher Hudson. And rounding out your top 20, Lane Sanders in the 86 and Matt Hunches in the 13. Jeff, take it away for the rest of the starting lineup.
Yeah, we're going to see David Anderson and Joe Bremer in the 31 and 23 cars, followed up by Kenneth Laura and Robert Lavelle in row 12. Row 13, Mason Leedke and Willie Evernham in that 24 machine. Let's see what he can do from row 13. James Mulloway and Michael Hall in row 14. Row 15, Josh Fassbender and Andrew Bryson in the 29 and 20 cars. Row 16, Braxton Ledford and Aaron Hall, very own Rogue Energy Cup Series driver in row 16. Row 17, Ben McDonnell and Bryce Fish. Those machines. Followed up by row 18 of Zach Bucher and Matt Forns, 27 and 28 cars, side by side.
You know, one thing I want to point out here is we looked at our starting lineup, and I noticed this earlier, is we might have two pairs of brothers in the Bremer and Dunford last name. Though that may be a coincidence, it would be pretty interesting if there were two pairs of brothers in this race, or maybe father-son duos. That'd be pretty cool. So definitely some familiarity here as we take a look at our weather here at Daytona. 72 degrees, air temp, winds, not enough to see any crazy blowovers likely, and a clear forecast as you can see. Sunset on the speedway right now here in Florida.
Now we're here from Daytona International Speedway, the World Center of Racing. Go down the backstretch for one more time before we get ready to go green. 36 drivers, at least registered for the session. It looks like we'll have a few that we do not decide to take the track quite yet, but the lights off on the pace car, which means we'll be going green. 15 lap dash here. Quick little shootout here for these drivers. So expect aggressiveness to go up here as we enter turn 3 and 4. For Martinsville, Johnson, Sean Rowe, Alden Contreras, current drivers here who always show up here for HVTV After Dark. See what they can do. That 101 machine back there in P6. And a newcomer, Brandon Meeks, back there in the 2. He'll be in the 5th position, but pace car's off. Back to the United Reynolds Restart Zone. 15 lap dash here from Daytona.
Demos with the move to the outside. No, not Demos. It's going to be Sean Rowe, possibly.
That was David Johnson with the move to the outside, and that top lane is not there at all. Marcel and Sean Rowe side by side. The two people battling it out for the win last week. Battling it out for the win now, as you see Sean Rowe helping up his BBR teammate try to get out to the race lead. Not quite clear. Demos now 3 wide for the race lead.
Contreras to the top of the racetrack. He's going to take the lead.
Contreras side by side. He'll get clear now. See if he keep that top line rolling. Now here comes the 101 of Carter Kinsley. Sean
Wrecking.
That's going to bring out the
away,
Oh, no, Sean Rowe.
17 car not slowing down.
13 machine
That
around.
could have been huge.
Damage there. All started with Sean Rowe. See the 88 up there. Also,
We got a couple cars back here looking like modifieds going on the backstretch. I think it's the battle on the beach, the short track.
Yeah, Sean Rowe, 0 to 0. Yeah, a few seconds there.
oh man, that might have been netcode there. We'll take a look. Maybe not. Maybe a little bit of a bad bump to the from the 84. That's Trudeau there. It's into the 91 and nowhere to go. You see the 13 there, the 43, huge hit alongside the 88 there, lid key, and then some guys just trying to drive through the field here. The 17. And, I mean, we're in the ARCA car, so I guess you expect to see that, but yeah, wrecking in the back there. Sean Rowe involved. Luckily, we do have that one fastly period, but these guys wanted to take it that early. But caution waves are here early. Don't know.
Yeah, this is such a boomer bust type of racing. I mean, it's, as we saw, you're 3 wide already with these cars so close together on horsepower and drag and everything else. In the sim, at least, it puts on some pretty entertaining back racing. But with cars closer together than they are at any other track, that causes more, touches, bumper hooks, crashes than any other track. So, nothing out of the ordinary here, but hoping we can rack it back up and have a clean run to the finish.
Yeah, and knowing that this is a sprint race, these guys are going to be going all out to essentially just put themselves in the best position here because of the presence of cautions. And, we may get more and more of these. And, if you're leading the race, all you have to do is just hit your restart zone mark and get a good launch and hope that you have the right pushes to keep yourself in the lead. But yeah, for the guys further on back, they're not going to have that many opportunities to get further up if there are more cautions. So definitely going to be pushing 100%. As soon as we start going green here again.
Glad to see that we didn't go 2x2 here. It's only 15 laps, right? We don't have a lot of laps to, Facing a caution, obviously we saw Sean row around. We saw the 88 of Lidkey, also with some, damage, but it wasn't a big one to say the least. Maybe 4 or 5 cars. Surprised to see. I think we're keeping it here 2 to green here. As you know, we're just counting down laps now. At this point, we'll be going to green with 10 to go. That has definitely shuffled some guys to the field. Aldam Contreras takes the race lead. Carter Kingsley in the true Lego fashion up there in P2. Marty Shamela, Mostelli, two way connoisseurs in their own right. And then out there, right outside the top 5, right outside, inside the top 5, actually. Patrick Connell at number 44 machine.
Yeah, I mean, Pat Connell definitely, made a pretty big name for himself in one of the e-tickets from a few months ago, last year. At least I think it was last year, with his Iron Man 2 paint scheme, which featured John Ramos as Iron Man. And so, pretty cool stuff to see Pat Connell back here in the iRacing community. I mean, haven't really spoken of him too much tonight. He was at Martinsville as well, but didn't really have much to say for him there. But Daytona, anything can happen, and so I thinking that he's gonna try and see if he can try and see if he can make up for not having too much to speak upon for the previous races here tonight.
Yeah, Matthew, you nailed it. More than anything, it's awesome just to see the vast diversity of racing background and community and skill level that we have here in this field, and that brings different driving styles, different paint schemes, some exciting chatter in the voice channels during the race. Everything that we want here. We want to bring everyone together here on HVTV After Dark, and yeah, that's what we get out of this. That's what we're here to do.
Definitely agree, and just look at the diversity, right? The Carter, who come up to the ranks in a unique way, right? And he's gotten his kind of gratitude back after some incidents on track, right? If you want to say that, and then obviously Contreras, who's been here for a while, Marty Shamela, who grinded through the asphalt media circuit to get to where he is now. Mostelli, who's been here for a long time. Connell, another MCM driver, right? And then you see some drivers who haven't really seen before. We've seen Youth, who has been a consistent driver here in the After Dark series, and a really, really nice young man, and posting screenshots in here, and just being a part of the HVTV community. We really appreciate him at least showing up and showing out, and being a good community member. That's all we want, is to grow a community here and with at least the After Dark side of things. And I'm super happy to see Colin continue to come out and show up and show out. See him in that Cletus Greg Biffle homage there. So cool to see that there on track. But yeah, getting ready to get started again. We'll have a 10 lap shootout now here once we go green here from Daytona. Goes this driver in the front. Gonna have to give those spots back up. Braxton Ledford. Obviously a lot of damage to him. Probably just trying to go into the pit road, probably get some damage fixed. But we'll hand the race back over to Aldam Contreras, Carter Kingsley, your front row.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what line gets to jump here. As you see Carter on the top line, Contreras on the bottom line. A lot of these guys, I think, are pretty much going to be just shoving everyone out here. So, yeah, I'm thinking that either line is pretty advantageous here. But coming to the United Reynolds restart zone, we're going to go back green with just about 10 laps to go here from Daytona.
That bottom lane to put together a little bit more. It's a 3v2 right now. The bottom trying to prevail. It's the 2 Aldam Contreras help from the 2 MC Motorsports machines, and then it's Carter Kingsley help from Mostelli there in the 87. So, obviously Contreras, a good super speedway racer himself, and then the 2 pushers on those top sides, very, very well adequate in these super speedway style situations. You see the 92 clear up to the top here. Now here comes 3 wide, the 41 machine trying to make a move. Gonna get thrown to the back though.
Oh man, that was barely clear down.
Contreras is going to get
Unbelievable.
left out to dry. He might get picked up at his middle lane here. Carter Kingsley go ahead and give it to him at the point. Going to 7 to 15.
Carter Kingsley to the point here. So he's got to be aggressive to get this race win here. Maybe Matthew is that good luck charm for this for Carter here up in the Speedway Series. But remember, Carter's got to be looking in that rearview mirror. Is Carter?
Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my god!
As if we spoke it into existence in the pre-race. Unreal. The 101 up and over. The big one happens behind them.
He's grabbing.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and how fitting that Marty Shamela is the one to wreck my race car. Oh my goodness. It could
One of
not.
the most spectacular wrecks I think we've ever seen on this channel in any series.
Oh man.
Need to check on that driver to make sure he's still chomping at the bit here. And this car is completely destroyed. Luckily, he does have that one fastest pair, but I have to start at the very, very back of the pack here and have a uphill battle for this 101 machine. But, you know, I mean, Carter got up there. He took the race lead. Unfortunately, just bad push from Marty Shamela. Sends that 101 around, and caution will wave once again. And we knew this was going to come. 15-lap dash. You got to be aggressive. You got to put your car in spots that probably don't want to. That's exactly what you get.
And I know that we have a faster pair that he can get back out there in this race, but man, I feel like a piece of me just died a little bit inside when I saw that car going up and over.
Yeah, now think about how I feel, man. No, but that
you gotta feel a little.
that was just pretty spectacular to see. To see that car doing stuff that should only be possible in NR 2003 and Gran Turismo, flying up in the air like that. But nonetheless, Marty Shamela in the lead, and I think that's Pat Connell further back in third place. No, second place, I think.
That is Patrick Connell on P2. It says Aldam Contreras in the lead. He sped down pit road here to get the damage fixed. So they'll come back around and grab him. But it is going to be Marty Shamela and his MCM teammate, Patrick Connell. Top of the board here. Colin, that number 8 machine. Back up to P. Joey Bremer in that number 12. Ryan Blaney machine. Round out that top 5. Fast 4 actually, and then back here in 5th will actually be Dylan Dunford, the 94 machine.
I think all bets are off here, man, because look at the front of the field, right? A lot of these guys are hungry for wins. Haven't seen their names up front too much, with the exception of, you know, a Demos and a Martin Schmiller, right? But I mean, how crazy would it be if someone like Pat Connell won here in the HVTV After Dark series? And I mean, you look at all the other guys further on back, you know, these names, you know, Lane Sanders, right? A lot of these guys, you know, winless for the most part in a lot of the other leagues that we're familiar with them running in. So, yeah, definitely an opportunity to go to victory lane. And it doesn't matter, you know, what fashion it's in. You know, you're always trying to find opportunities to win and to put yourself in positions to win. And so I always love seeing people like that further in the front of the pack here, especially at super speedways.
The laps are ticking down. We go through the chicane there, getting ready to go back green. We'll have these 2 MCM machines, 1 Chevy, 1 Toyota. Will lead us back to green. And that's true ARCA fashion right there. Same team, different manufacturers.
Yeah, it was just the other night that we were talking with Jeff about the one guy, Blake Lothian, I believe, after we did a little bit of researching on the internet, ran 2 different manufacturers for the same team in the same season, I believe.
Yeah, this season running a Toyota Supra and a Chevy Camaro in that 35 car for Joey Gase Motorsports. And that is true ARCA fashion right there, but we're seeing it in O'Reilly as we're coming to the green here. MCM teammates on the front row. And we're back green, 7 to go for Daytona.
Definitely saw that teammate collaboration there. They both went at the same time. Patrick will jump down in front of, behind Marty. Try to push him out, and you know this is going to be some teamwork out here. And that gives him 12. No way, Bremer. That top side, here comes Mo. Stop
Demos.
the 3.
Demos making it 3 wide.
Most
Unbelievable
goes
stuff.
right now, though. We'll see what happens later on in the race.
Oh, look at that group on the top, though. They're going to have a
Third
huge
line's
run down the
Foreman.
backstretch.
Third line's Foreman, the Pied Piper. They always follow him. See what they
That's
can
got to
do
be
up
4
there.
wide. Reckon!
Lipke around, the 24 round. We stay at green. It's going to be the 12. Pushed by the 86 of Lane Sanders. You know, Lane has had some trouble pushing these cars out before. Can he keep that top side rolling?
Unbelievable stuff here from the World Center of Racing. The 12 machine commanding that middle lane. But Demos is not done yet. He wants more. He's going to dive to the inside in the middle.
Lane Sanders in the race lead here in the 34. Now Lane can block whatever lane he wants. Caution.
Oh,
Wrecking in the back. Caution will wave. And Lane Sanders will take the race lead as we go under caution here. We'll try to figure out potentially where we saw this caution. Luckily, that 101 looks like he's green. Look for the back. Oh, the 41 hooked after the wreck. Oh, man.
everything went wrong for that car.
See what happened and see.
The multiple modifiers back there again.
Right on board with the 41 here. I think this happened in front of him. Find the cockpit cam here. Get a little bit up. Higher view here. You can install the nose cams. Yeah, that was right in the middle of the pack there. Yeah, nowhere to go. You see David Johnson, a huge hit to the outside wall. Oh man, I think that was DJ. Can't tell really. See, DJ's wheel looks like it's, I don't know, his wheel might be broken. Not turning the wheel at all here. We'll see if he can show us what happened. Like someone hooked down the track there. Or for DJ to go, and there goes the wheel.
Yeah, that wheel is broken.
I don't know how he's. I don't know how he's turning.
That's hardware failure right there.
Like, how is he turning? He's going. He should be going straight.
That's insane. I have no explanation for that.
And he turned out of the corner. Oh, and then there goes the 41 off the bumper of the 24.
That's bad. That was done intentional.
That was done deliberate for sure. We'll go back live now and take a look at the guy's still here waiting. You see Contreras still trying to fix some damage. A lot of drivers down pit road here early. We'll race lead. Go back to Lane Sanders, who, yes, he does retain the race lead here. And now we're going into NASCAR overtime territory. We have unlimited attempts here. We can go as long as all night if we need to. Obviously, I think we're going to run out of cars before we run out of daylight here from Daytona. And we do have lights here at Daytona, so if we need to go that long, we can. I'd hope we don't do that. But we have, I think, up to 16, technically, green-white checkers. That's as much as the sim will allow us to have. But Lane Sanders, Marty Shimela, off the board there. I don't think I'd ever say that here on the broadcast. But Marty Shimela, Lane Sanders, 1-2 here from Daytona.
Yeah, and Marty Shimela recently pulled off a win at a super speedway, and he's definitely more than capable of getting it done once again. That finish was with Demos, and he is also further up in the pack, so we could see both of them scrapping for a win here, as well as Patrick Connell and Lane Sanders, right? These are all guys that are familiar faces from other, other series that we see him racing, but all of these guys definitely going to be going all out here.
Yeah, something I want to point out. You see the 8 of Shimela up. He's got his teammate in the 4 right behind him. He's got Mosteller and Sean Rowe behind him, that top row. Outside, those front 2 who are teammates, which are going to get a pretty decent jump, I feel like. Got some of the best super speedway racers back there. Mosteller, and then obviously PBR, very well known for their super speedway talents here in any car. That top row pretty stacked here, and then you look down at the bottom here. Sanders, it looks like you got the 12, the 16, and that number 30 of Muth. Counting out that first 4 on that bottom side, but getting ready for NASCAR overtime. He's Lane Sanders. Marty Shimela leading this back to green. See the pace car. Once again, take another hard left turn down Fair Road. We're going to be doing some NASCAR overtime here for HVTV After Dark. Some extended laps here from Daytona. We'll hand the race back over to Barney up into Daytona at flag stand. We're going to be going some NASCAR overtime from Daytona.
Top looks pretty organized. A good jump for both lanes. Pretty even actually on launch. Look at Demos trying to go to the top. No help from cars behind. Sean Rowe will stay tucked in behind Patrick Connell, and they will blow by Daniel Mosteller. Look at the run that top lane has now.
Connell doing a good job. Oh, Lane Sanders out of room. There's a car on the bottom slow, but look at these two. MCM Motorsports machine handing down the backstretch. Now here comes Sean Rowe with the huge move. Help from Mosteller. Where did he come from?
Unbelievable. Sean Rowe is in the lead, and he will clear down in front of Patrick Connell. But here comes Demos on the top lane. You know he's hungry for going back-to-back wins here, especially at Daytona, where he's won so many times before. They're going to be coming to the white flag with 1 lap to go. Sean Rowe is currently in the lead. Daniel Mosteller on the top lane, looking for some more help to get to the front. Here comes Patrick Connell to the outside.
Patrick Connell side by side with the AC. Connell's going to actually... this is kind of a weird situation. You have Connell and MCM Motorsports leading the top, and you have an MC Motorsports driver pushing the leader at the bottom, right? It's the 99 around. Now it's MCM 1-2 leading the top and the bottom.
Look at Carter! Carter on the top lane!
Carter kills you on the top side. Patrick Connell gets
Oh my gosh! Oh, look at he cuts everyone! That's the field! The field! Who's leading? Who's in the leaders? The 12! The 12! Oh my goodness! The 12 machine of Joey Brammer!
Across the stripe, he gets out alive, and he's going to win his first night from Daytona. And race 3 from HBTV After Dark, he gets through the wreck, and he gets his first win.
Unbelievable.
Joey Brammer won this race after the entire field evaporates into turn 3. I don't know what just happened.
So many things happened at once. We had Sean Rowe spinning down the racetrack. We had Carter trying to take it 3 wide on the top. And then we had simultaneous spins and wrecks going down the backstretch into turn 3.
Sean Rowe,
and then
getting spun down the track, he ends up getting P6, P7. Because he was just out of the mess there. But we're definitely going to have to go back and take a look and see what happened there. First, all started with Sean Rowe getting spun down the track. What happened here?
Goodness.
We might just have to go right off the restart here.
Hey, you see that 12 car on the inside lane, second back. I'm not even sure how he got to the lead because he was so buried further back with all the jostling that was happening, it seemed like.
Yeah, there was so much shuffling and back and forth at the front of the field, and it was amazing. You'll see here that Demos tries to pull out a line. Nobody goes with him on this 2-to-go lap. But somehow he goes from 5th in line, could have got shuffled all the way to the back on the back straightaway, to on the front row fighting for the lead of the race at the end of that lap. I mean, it's just, again, like, he pulls out here, and then it looks like he could go to the back, and then it ends up right in the mix of it at the end. You just never know what's going to go down in any of this. You see Carter Kingsley trying to make a 3rd lane up there. I mean, and everybody, it seemed like that bottom lane, the leader of that bottom lane was just in trouble. It seems like it's hard to hold a push when everybody's not going to lift, obviously, on a green white checkered restart here, 2 to go. It's hard to hold that car on the track, keep it straight without spinning down to the apron there.
Yeah, and you see on the bottom lane, the 3rd and 4th rather cars on that bottom lane, I believe, were your leaders coming out of that wreck, and then eventually the 12 was the one that made it through. You see Pat Connell with a great jump to the outside with a huge amount of help from Daniel Mosteller. Carter Kingsley made it 3 wide, able to get some help down the back straightaway. And Sean Rowe, I think just a bad push on the bottom there.
Yeah, bad push from the bottom. He goes around and
Same
then
thing happened. Same thing happened the lap before to the leader of the bottom as well.
here comes
Carter
the
Kingsley coming with a huge run.
in the 44. Patrick Connell not
Oh.
clear. That was a. I mean,
Oh
Demos
my.
had a run. Patrick tried to clear it. Else was there, and that's kind of all they wrote, right? So to the 44.
And that took out everybody. Third on back. Look at this.
That's the whole field.
Wow.
Carter Kingsley goes
Oh
down
my
the track.
goodness.
We got one car airborne in the middle of the pack.
Where is Sean Rowe in all that exchange? And then we had Bangin for the lead and the win.
And the 80.
Oh, man.
Youth with, I mean, and Sean Rowe.
Oh my gosh.
I want to ride.
Contreras.
I want to ride on board with Sean Rowe here.
We need a rest rider to board specifically with Sean Rowe here. Through this wreck. Not lifting.
Oh my. No way.
We're going back.
A little lift at the end there.
We're going back.
That's unbelievable.
So
This might be one of the craziest tournament events that I've seen.
As
So
we said in the
Rowe-
pre-race, Sean Rowe just finds a way
off the
to
bumper.
amaze us.
And then
Save the race
I
car.
mean, he probably thinks my race is done here, and then here comes the whole field. It collapses. You know, another MCM, a mega mine here, and Sean Rowe just somehow finds a way once again through the field, gets around the 92 of Contreras here at the end. I think Contreras might have tried to get him here. No, Contreras knocks it, completely runs over the 84 and across the line. Sean Rowe is in pit road. Sean Rowe is in pit road as he will cross the line.
That
7. Mosteller gets through for a top 5.
I think that may be one of the most insane iRacing sequences I've ever seen. We need to put this on iRacing Hub or an equivalent YouTube channel because that is just unbelievable wreck avoidance and a race finish.
Yeah, that was, you know, an all-time. Honestly, all these races were very good. Kansas was a close finish. Obviously, the bump and run by Mose at Martinsville, and then tonight, I mean, we got the flips, we got the wrecks that we wanted here in the ARCA Menard series. But what a way to end tonight here, race 3. Congratulations to Joey Bremer. I don't think we'll be able to talk to him. I don't see him up here in any PC. I don't even know if he's even in the Discord here to talk to us tonight. So, but what a way to end the night, right? The whole field collapsing, probably 2-3 times there in that 115 lap stint, and what an exciting finish.
I'm just speechless, man. I mean, this is what it's all about, guys. Like this is what simulator racing is supposed to be. It's supposed to be bringing everyone together, going to different racetracks, showing off different paint schemes and paid content. I mean, this is iRacing, right? And I mean, to be able to, you know, bear witness to it and to do it with people that, you know, we hold close in the community and to see some new faces as well, you know, this is all perfect for everyone involved. So, I mean, I'm more than blown away by the performances of the drivers with the on-track product, as well as just, you know, everything that goes into, you know, this production. And, you know, it's so great to see, you know, us get a good 3 races out of that. Cause I mean, we had no expectations going into this. So once again, I mean, just setting the standard here for simulator racing here at the HVTV Broadcasting Network.
Yeah, I'm just so glad that I didn't miss out on this one here at HVTV After Dark, the 4th edition, 5th edition, something like that. We've only had a few of these so far, but I think that one is safe to say that one probably took the cake in terms of excitement and the finishes and the kind of racing that we love to see here. That brings, like Matthew said perfectly, brings everyone together, and that's the definition of what HVTV and the communities we want to bring together is all about. That's what we want to have here. So yeah, I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to race, giving me the opportunity to call these races up here in the booth, and yeah, I got to do this more often, man. Because this is the most fun that I've had in a while on the sim for sure. Wish I had more time to do this. Wish I had more time to spend time with you guys on the racing side of things, but man, when I do, it is never a dull moment.
Oh, and I can't agree myself, Jeff and Matthew, right? And no, Jeff is a great example. As we want people up here and being a part of the broadcast, being a part of the community, just coming out and having a good time, right? This is all that we're doing, right? I know, and a lot of other, open, community style races kind of locked down and everything else. We're trying to make it different. We're trying to make it more community based, more community rounded, right? So, I'm super glad to have Matthew and Jeff up here, um, up in the booth, right? This is the first time it's been more than me in here, and this is probably my favorite night of HVTV After Dark. Being completely transparent, just having someone up here to bounce stuff off of and to just experience the moment with, right? Because obviously, we've had some really good finishes, we've had some close battles, we've had some phenomenal racing these last couple of weeks, but having people up here to share it with, it definitely makes it a lot more worthwhile and a lot more fun up here when you are calling races. So, but yeah, like I said, we so much encourage. If you even are interested in wanting to call a race, we'll give you the opportunity, man. And if you don't like it and you don't want to do it again, then at least you tried, right? So, obviously we've had Jeff and Matthew in the booth for other stuff, and they always do a great job, being themselves accountable. But yeah, I definitely had such a blast tonight, putting on these races tonight, and it's definitely a bright future for the future to come here if we can continue to do this.
Yep, 3 words, man. This is iRacing. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we want when we come out here and put on these broadcasts and put on these hosted races. We want the tough, hard, close racing. We want, at the end of the day, no one to have their feelings hurt, knowing that we're here to race as hard as we can, to beat and bang, to have a little bit of beef. And we, if anything, we want the beef, right? We want to show that on the broadcast, to show that these drivers want it so bad, right? So it's just super cool to see everybody continuing to come out and support this and support just the network in general, right? We've grown so much, and I know Matthew and Jeff can account to this. We've grown so much in the last 2 years that we've started up this network, from just getting basically this broadcasting stuff thrown at us out of left field to now, being able to do this every week. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. Hopefully, and we'll see what how the schedule works out here for HVTV After Dark. I feel like we plan on continuing to do this every Saturday night, unless something comes up. I know Mosteller has been putting up some races throughout the week. If you guys are on the lookout, make sure to join the Discord. We do have the Discord link down below in the description. If you guys want to do some hosted races that aren't broadcasted, unfortunately, we just don't have the manpower for for me to we already have obligations throughout the week here. We just don't have the manpower to have someone else come and broadcast some of these HVTV After Dark races. But if you guys are still wanting to look for some racing, make sure to join the Discord server. Once again, it's linked down below in the description. And most will ping anytime he puts up a session and wants to do some racing here for After Dark. Obviously, not all of them will be broadcasted, at least here on the network, as we have other obligations throughout the week. But obviously, the racing has been really good and honestly really fun to call up here when I get the opportunity to. But I think it's time to call the night. So for myself, Matthew, and Jeff, actually we have Demos up in the booth here if he wants to put any final words in here before we call the night.
Oh, thank you guys for broadcasting. I appreciate it. Tonight was a great night. It was a great night of action, especially after the last couple of weeks with some rough on track stuff. But tonight was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys for broadcasting and making it even more fun for all the viewers. You guys do a hell of a job.
I definitely couldn't do without you, Mouse, and really everybody who comes out and shows out and obviously does the racing, right? If we don't have good racing, we can't really put on a good show at home. But I think it's time to call it a night here from the World Center of Racing Daytona, as we call it a night here from Saturday. We'll be back on tomorrow, on at least for the network. We'll be back here on Monday night as the UIS Truck Series comes to their season start at Daytona, as you'll see Riley Maxwell, Gavin Austin up there in the HVTV booth, as we'll see what they can do at Daytona. Obviously, we come out from Daytona back to Daytona on Monday, and we'll be back here on Thursday for the Prestige Cup Series. They continue their round of 8 berth at the Roval. Friday, we'll be back for the AWC Pro Series as they continue their stretch as well. And we'll be right back here on Saturday for the ISNF Cup Series as they continue their chase format and maybe some more HVTV After Dark on Saturday, depending on what everybody wants to do that Saturday night. But we appreciate everybody for coming out and watching the broadcast. If you wouldn't mind dropping a like on the broadcast, subscribing to the channel, whether you are watching over on HVTV on YouTube or over on twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13, a follow, a subscription, whatever you feel like you need to do is very appreciative, but obviously not required. But we appreciate everybody for coming out and watching the broadcast. We appreciate the drivers for coming out. We appreciate everybody who's working behind the scenes to make this thing work out. But from myself, Jeff Perchatsky, and Matthew Perchatsky up in the broadcasting booth for tonight's races, it's time to call it a night on this Saturday night. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the cup race tomorrow from Texas and see who can get it done. Maybe Carson Hostfar goes back to back. We'll never know until tomorrow. But hope everybody has a great rest of this Saturday night, and we will see you guys on the flip side.
Peace out, y'all.